welcome to Loot Level Chat Game of the Year edition, day 4. My name's Adam Cook, and I'm here with Steve. Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Hello, Mick. I'm with Mick.
Hello.
I'm with Lyle.
Oh, should we go back to day 1 again and ho ho hello?
No, let's not do that. And
no,
Kieran
okay.
Yeah, we've got less Christmassy as we've got closer to Christmas.
I had a Christmas jumper that I was going to put on. Kieran's got a Cuphead jumper on, which I'm a little bit envious of.
I thought it's a crackhead for a minute. I'll get my Christmas hat out on the last day.
Yeah, I've got a jumper for the last day.
Yeah. I mean tomorrow, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I mean that is
Tomorrow. Yep.
Oh, okay, we're just pretending. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow. Ho 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 ho. We are here to talk. This is going to be spoilery. There's no real point in not just getting that out there early on. We have talked about many categories, and we are splitting them up so that they can be as little spoilers as possible. But today we're going to talk about the best story and the best moment, which are both very heavily.
I'm going to spoil
story-related.
shit just for the fun of it. The butler did it. He was dead all along.
That's movies, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Sixth
I
sense
think we can
spoilers.
spoil movies too if we want, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Just let's do it all.
Man.
fair enough. But I've got to get through this category list, this short list here, because although best story is not too long, a category, best moment is. There's lots of them. So let's the nominations for the best story in the top 5 this year. Dispatch, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Hades 2, The 100-Line Last Defense Academy, Bounty Star, Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodlines 2, Wonderstop, Doom the Dark Ages, The Altars, Ghost of Yotai, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Hell Is Us, Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector, Promise Master Agency, Baby Steps, South of Midnight, Sea of Stars, Throes of the Watchmaker, and The Berlin Apartment. What do you mean, you coward?
missed one, Adam.
No, I did not.
You
I
missed
saw
one.
it.
I have a question about
Put
that.
that on as a tribute.
About what? About what? What do you have a question about, Kieran?
About that, Freezer Pops 3. I googled that earlier, thinking, like, was there a Freezer Pops?
Well,
Yeah,
listen, you've given them what they wanted. You've given them what they wanted.
That's the plan. Look, Heidi's not here to put it on. Somebody had to. He'll appreciate it when he watches this.
Yeah, I really appreciate that it was put on there too.
Oh, I assumed you'd
I
put it
was
on
wanting
there.
to do it.
I assumed you'd put it on there. This is a top 5, by the way, so there would have been room if that game existed for it to make, perhaps. So I'm guessing there's a game on here that only one person's played, because I think I might have been the only other person who was going to play it. But Mick, is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 from you? Is that a...
Yeah, that's the first cut. I just put it on there because I wanted to fill the list up to 20. Berlin Apartment wasn't on there at the time. That's why I added Freezer Pops 3 to get it to 20. No, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines was a pile of shit. It was just the only other story game I could think of at the time. Well, it is.
You don't have to list things because they exist. Just a reminder.
No,
that we can...
to be fair to it, the story was probably the best bit. It is quite good, but
Right.
no, it's not. We don't need to discuss it.
Okay, but you put it on there anyway. Okay.
It was the 20th best story of the year that I could think of. So.
Right. Okay. I don't want to target the games you've picked, but I feel like this one I want to ask about because I didn't play enough of it. Wonderstop, the story.
Yeah, I really like the story to it. I know we discussed it way back when I reviewed it.
Feels like about a million years ago now.
Yeah, it does. I was surprised. I didn't realise it came out this year because I remember us discussing it on a pod and everything.
Yeah.
But I just really liked the story. I thought it had really good themes. I thought it was really set in an interesting world. Because it was kind of a weird... The world kind of had... Does everybody even know what it is? Because I think you played it.
I played a bit. I think Steve did.
It's the one where you make tea, isn't it?
Yeah. So the basic premise is that you go to this place called the Wonderstop and you help this fella make tea and sell it to customers. But the whole premise of it is that the main character is like an arena gladiator. She's like a warrior. And she loses for the first time, and then she hits a losing streak, and then she burns out, and she goes away, and she's going through a dark forest because she's looking for the woman who made her sword, because she feels like if she can beat this legendary warrior, she'll get her mojo back. But while she's in this dark forest, she finds that she can't even pick up her own sword. It's too heavy for her, and it's metaphorical, but like. She gets rescued by this fellow who takes her to this place where he makes tea for travelers, and he gets her to basically help him make tea. And the idea is that when she can pick up her sword again, she can leave, and every time she tries to leave before she's ready, she can't. So it's like, it's really good, like, allegory for basically burnout and like bringing yourself back when you've lost yourself, which is what, and it's a really nice story. And I really like the world because it's there's kind of contemporary elements in it, like the people that come to the Wander Stop. Like, one of them is like a knight, but he's also like an accountant. Like, he talks about his job as if he's an accountant. He's got like a shirt and tie, and he talks about trying to impress his son by going out and being the bravest knight. But like, it's kind of like it operates on some kind of weird dream logic. And like, the whole time I was thinking, is this going to turn out that she's just like someone corporate that's had an actual psychotic break, and but it's not. This is just the way this world is. It just exists in this weird place between like the real world and a fantasy world, and it was just interesting. And and I found it interesting from start to finish. And like, the tea making thing was fun, but the cool bit was like you get a bench, and when you brew a new type of tea and you drink it, like, the main character has a memory, and then she goes and sits on a bench, she contemplates her life, and it, like, you know, she had like a rough childhood and a rough life that led to this. And it's just this weird kind of like a juxtaposition between these two worlds was just really interesting. And I thought it was worth mentioning because I really did enjoy it. I thought the story was great. I mean, it's not one of the best 5 of the year.
Okay.
But it's fair. It's not, but it was really good. Really liked it.
Yeah, I remember sort of being surprised by quite how like interesting a concept it was. Necessarily get particularly far into playing it, but like, yeah, I remember thinking it was really cool, you know.
Everything had like a lovely zen, like, soft feel to it all.
It's a cozy game. Like, it's a cozy game. There's no combat or real stress, but there's a bit towards the end where it suddenly goes dark, and I thought it was going to go really dark, and then it kind of veered back.
It's remarkable that Kieran's the only one who hasn't played it, if that makes sense, of all of us. Like, it's kind of weird,
true.
Weirding me out a little bit. You want to, fair enough. But Mickey, you saying it is a cut? Okay.
Yes, it is a cut.
I've picked 2, but I want to pick another 2, and then like, I'll hand it over to you guys. You can argue it out. But I'm going to suggest 2 games right now that I think we need to cut because they're not going to make it, and they're kind of exactly the same story, and that's Ghost of Yotai and Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, to be honest.
As much as it
I thought that was
pains me to
spicier.
as much as it pains me to remove Yotai, I think me and Kieran even said earlier in the year, it's not the best story. It's not particularly.
No, but do you know what? Like,
It's well told.
Yeah,
it's well told. No, and totally. And I, to be honest with you, I think the same's true of Shadows, but it's quite remarkable to me. You know how you hear someone go, "Oh yeah, that's just the same as that." Like, and usually that's sort of. It's a bit unfair, isn't it? Like, it's usually a bit like, nah, come on, it's not just that. These 2 stories genuinely are so remarkably similar.
It's an Armageddon Deep
weird.
Impact thing, isn't it? It's just like,
but it's just genuinely
what are the odds?
Like,
There's
even
a
in the
huge
way
pacing difference between the 2, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I think Shadows
to get to the point you're at in Yotai, you get to about 2 hours in Shadows, 2 minutes in Yotai. It does not fuck about.
But I wonder if some of that was deliberate. I wonder if some of those
having seen
like having seen what Shadows did and seeing the
well, it is a sequel,
Shadows took a while to
as well. Like, they don't need to set the scene
well.
quite as much as the first game did.
I don't think the story was quite as. I think because it was a simpler story of just like it was very personal story of revenge, and like Atsu's a cool character, but I think the narrative in Tsushima was just much grander. Like it felt like it had more stakes and it was a lot bigger.
It was about empire rather than an individual story.
I just think even the way you can attack the Yotai 6 or the Shadows in your own, you can that's it. Yeah, you can sort of choose your own route. Even that is like.
I think that was the problem with Shadows, though. Like,
Yotai
does it for the first couple of few members.
It's the kind of first 2 as well. I guess the first one's free, isn't it? It's like,
and then Shadows does it. I think at 2 different points with you get a couple of different options, and for me, that just dragged.
Like
the whole middle part of that game
splinters all of its side stuff as well. It splinters in that same way. Like here's a town and this 8 thing. No, I know.
That's
I know.
a Ubisoft thing, though, isn't it? It's like sometimes there's too much freedom, and sometimes I like it to just be like, go here now, because that's where I falter with Ubisoft games.
I think the problem with, I mean, I know no one's. I actually thought maybe I'd have a more difficult time cutting it, but like the thing about Yotei as well for me, and I don't think Kieran, you had this to the extent I did, but I was talking to Mick about this. I wish I'd played more of this game, but unfortunately, it is one of those games. Like it is a Ubisoft style open world, and I cannot focus. And similar to Tsushima, it does not make you. It does not say, right, you now have to do this. It almost needs something to happen in the world to be like, you must do story missions, and I will, because I am quite happy in that world pootling around, finding fox dens and like upgrade shrine things, and I'm quite happy doing that every time I boot it up. And because of that, I have not seen hardly any of the story, and that to me is not necessarily a flaw with the actual story, because the story could be awesome, but it's like I don't have that problem in, say, God of War, you know, when that game does make me want to go through the story. So I find that in this game it does. For some reason I have a problem with it, and it's the same thing that happened to me in Shadows. Like the same thing happened to me in both games, but I really thought
it's too easy to get distracted, isn't it, and just wander off for an hour or 6.
You've developed this beautiful world, especially in Yotei, but I think Shadows as well. I think Shadows is a really, really luscious world that makes me want to go to stuff. And by doing that, what you've done is made me want to go and explore it, and the story is kind of like whatever. And that's not to say it's good or bad writing. I need you to force me at some point, because I will essentially just dry the world out, and by the time I get to the story, mechanically I'm exhausted because I've done. And that's an open world problem, but like I don't think games always have to be that big. And I think these are both very good games, and I'm not just pointing at Yotei. Like I think Shadows is a really good game as well. Like I think it's the best Assassin's Creed in quite a while, but I really thought maybe I would be like, you know, spicy there, but it sounds like no one's going to argue if I cut them both here and now.
I think they were fair. Just in terms of story, like you might have a harder job cutting them from day 5 and
I enjoyed them both.
Like,
so.
Yeah, but no, absolutely, I haven't got a problem if Kieran's happy with Yotei, you know, particularly going. And
I think the issue with Shadows for me is that it doesn't have any of the hallmarks of the series. Like I want that futuristic stuff. I want the stupid sci-fi stuff.
So is there none of that in it? Like none of it at all?
I think that Nexus launcher that they have now is essentially making you the modern day character.
Right, so it's like you're doing the first person stuff.
Yeah, it's all text based.
Yeah, I like that's gone. I always hated that.
I love that.
I think it's lost something for losing that one.
I like the Desmond shit. Do you remember?
See, I like the Desmond stuff because it was so tied to the story. But then ever since the Desmond thing, they've never managed to quite get something to stick.
Right. Yeah. Like Layla was all right. It wasn't as good, but.
But I think the Desmond stuff felt like it was naturally part of what you were doing, whereas I find that like ever since then, the stuff where like you were a game developer and you got a job at Ubisoft or whatever, and it was like, well, sorry, you got a job at Abstergo, but it was Ubisoft. Abstergo. You met fucking what's his name?
You say that, but like I do kind of like the fact that like there was what was the spin-off they did for Rainbow Six Siege? Extinction. Yeah, like you could see stuff in that world. There were like Assassin's Creed games in cases and stuff. So like, and then Watch Dogs, they put Assassin's Creed stuff in it, and
they've had crossovers in Watch Dogs. Yeah,
it was Abstergo.
I kind of like that stuff. I kind of like that. Anyway, I mean, we've cut it. So look,
to clarify, we're cutting Claire then, yeah.
He went there
Don't
already.
Be silly.
Are you high?
No, he's taking the piss. Look at his little face. He just wanted a reaction.
I've cut 5. Over to you guys. Go for it.
I've got. I've got 2 to suggest, but one of them you'll fight on straight away.
Go on.
Well, baby steps.
Oh, it's no chance that's making a list of 5 here. No,
I'm not ready to cut that yet, just because it is a top 5, and there's still plenty of games to talk about. I will concede that it's a very personal story, and I can see that it won't hit the same for everyone.
Okay, for now.
Hold it for now.
If you want to,
I've got
it for now. South of Midnight.
I mean,
I didn't like this. I didn't think the story was anything particular. Like, I think the story was cool. I think
it has a cool beats throughout it, but nothing really as a whole.
I have a question about it because I am memory man apparently. I can't remember. Like, I can remember all of what happens, if that makes sense. You know, the big storm, and then you go through the. what I can't remember is how it all ties up. It's to do with your aunt. Was it real in the? I can't.
It's your legacy, isn't it? Having those powers.
But is it real?
Back together.
Yeah,
it is real. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It really is happening. It's not like a allegory.
That's what I mean. Like, it's not like she's in a coma, or you know what I mean. It's like it is actually.
No, it happened. Yeah, because I thought that. I thought, are we going to work out that she's like she half drowned or something in the flood? And now she's...
And this is because
it doesn't do that.
Okay, so
it's a game full of strong beats and memorable settings, but the overall story isn't anything to shout about.
I mean, there's some interesting stuff about her family, isn't there? You know, you go through things, learning more about her mum, and
again, the world is cool. Like the elements in the world, like the giant crocodile.
I kind of feel like we missed a beat here because I'm thinking about it now. Like some of the characters, maybe we could have. Did we talk about them much on day 3? Because
the
like
alligator
some of the.
Is it not an alligator?
No, but like, do you remember some of the smaller characters? There's some real dark shit in that game. The
hugging Molly stuff is the bit that sticks out for me. With her, you find out her mum disappeared, didn't she? And you find out that she had been working with. They think this giant spider creature has been kidnapping children.
That's not the one.
It turns out she's been working with her mum, who was a social. It blends like the fantasy of the gothic stuff with the realism of the. She's actually working with a social worker to rescue these kids and take them away from like being abused and stuff.
The one I was thinking of was the kid that got pushed in the tree. I want to say.
I'm saving that for the next category.
Okay, okay, but yeah, I mean that is more like Steve said. They are kind of moments, I guess.
I think that's what it is, because I don't remember much of the story, but I remember a lot of the things that happened, if that makes sense. Like, whereas the story itself of like, and again, there's so much of it where you're like, is this actually real? Because it doesn't have like it's ostensibly in the real world, but it's like this completely bizarre fantasy.
I hope they get to do more of it.
Same.
I do as well.
You know what I mean? It feels like something they could build quite a cool franchise for Microsoft. I was going to say with that sort of, But I kind of, I think it's a cut. But I do hope they get to do more of it. I think I like that game more on reflection than I did during the playing of it. If that makes sense. Like the more I think back, I'm like, that was a cool game.
You're really cool. Yeah.
Kieran, you had a suggestion. Or was that?
I'm happy to cut one of mine. The Berlin apartment, because I don't think anyone will have played it.
I don't even know what that is.
No, I haven't played it.
It's quite recent, isn't it?
But I haven't.
Yeah, I only came out a few weeks ago. It's almost like what remains of Edith Finch, but set in at different points in Germany's past. So
Berlin, I reckon.
Yeah. You move into an apartment.
Disarmed him then.
I know. I didn't hear what he said at first. I thought he said better win, and I was thinking, really?
Was he doing something bad?
You move into an apartment with your dad, and as you're renovating it, you find little heirlooms or little trinkets from times gone by, and each one unlocks a new story. So it goes back to like it's weird because the first story and the last story are quite sweet, and then there's two really quite dark stories in the middle. The first one's set around just before the Berlin Wall came down, and it's about a guy who starts up a relationship with a girl on the other side of the wall, and you experience that all by throwing paper planes to each other. So it only takes about 45 minutes, but it's just a really sweet little love story. And then it moves on to a story in World War II where you play as a little girl in at Christmas time. In fact, this could make my Christmas quiz. She's decorating their sort of hovel with little bits of shit she's finding all over the place, like empty bullet casings and other horrible things. And it basically ends with her asking her mum outright, "I'll be the bad guys here," because there's like stuff being, there's bombings in the background, and the dad's gone missing, and it's really quite grim.
All I can think about is the Mitchell and Webb sketch.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
That is all you've done.
That is literally what you've done here.
The third one's somehow even worse. You play as this guy who's he's getting packed up, ready to leave his house, and packing his like prized possessions and his memories and things. And as you do that, you learn more about his past. He used to run like a cinema in the area, and it was really popular. And then as time goes on, people stopped coming, and it started getting targeted. And as you play it, you realise he's fleeing the country. Basically, he's a Jewish guy who's fleeing the country, and you start picking up on little things like there's lots of locks on his door, and I hadn't picked up on why at the start. But then as you go on, you start to put two and two together.
Some of what you're saying reminds me a bit of I don't know if anyone remembers this. Remember Valiant Hearts?
Yeah, it is a little bit like that. Yeah.
And that just made me sad because it made me think back to that era of like Child of Eden, Valiant Hearts, the Rayman Legends games, and Ubisoft making all these UbiArt games essentially that they were on that engine, and it's just made me feel sad. So I guess the Berlin Apartment has sort of made me feel sad by proxy.
Yeah. It is a sad game. It's not something that's going to be in the best list, but
it sounds pretty intriguing, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a good little walking sim, and it deserves some recognition, I think.
Any more while we're with you, Kieran?
We're cleaving through these, but we haven't had Stephen Lyle, I don't think, have offered any.
Again, me being the story-driven guy that I am, what the fuck is Bounty Star?
I think that's a Lyle game.
One of mine. No, that was another one of mine.
Was it?
That was just... Yeah, that was one. I was going to suggest that we could cut it. It was one that I just put on there to give it a little shout because it was a game that came out and nobody really paid much attention to it, but I quite liked it.
It sounds like the most generic thing ever.
Oh,
yeah, it does.
But
basically, well, it's Bounty Star. I can't remember the Ballad of Graveyard,
the morose tale of Graveyard Clem.
Graveyard Clem, yeah. So, and it's like, so it's a sci-fi western.
What the fuck is this game?
It's cool. It's a western with cozy farming and also mech battling.
Bayonetta style combat in a mech.
That's a combo right there.
Yeah, so she's like, so it starts off in like this little town, and the town is defended by basically cowboys in mechs, and the leader of this little militia that looks after the town, this farming community, is Clementine. And then one night the town just gets attacked by this like bandits in big black mechs, and they attack the town, and Clem fights them off. And she you have to duel the leader of the bandits, and she beats him, but she lets him live. She tells him to get out of here, and she'll kill him if she ever sees him again. So he leaves, and then later that night when they're all sort of celebrating, he comes back with a bigger force and destroys the entire town and wipes everybody out and leaves Clem for dead. So she's lost everything, and she feels fucking terrible because everybody she knows she buries them all herself with her own two hands and stuff. And then she goes off to this new little outpost where an old friend of hers needs a sheriff, needs a bounty hunter basically to clean up the area. And he gives her the job, and he's like, you work for me. I'll give you this farm. You can tend the farm. I'll give you a mech. It's a bit battered, but if you earn money, you can spruce it up and turn it into something and get your old life back. And it's just a cool story, and it's quite it's a simple game. You pick bounties off a board, you go and do them. You've got some cool mech combat stuff, you've got a grapple chain, and you got some good strafe shooter. It's really, the shooting's really fun.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming third person action.
Yeah. And the shooting's really fun, but then also in between that, you go back to the farm and you plant crops and you build stuff. And you upgrade the farm and you upgrade the workshop and you have all this stuff, and then in the background of it all, Clem's just going through some stuff, and she's really struggling to sort of come to terms with what she did that she blames herself for. And it's a good story, and it's a decent game. But it was just one that I really liked, and no one really paid much attention to it. And because it came out this year, when this year's been mental. And
the full name does make it sound way cooler than just Bounty Star.
Yeah, but the full name, it's one of those things where the full title is a mouthful and the standard title is generic. Bounty Star could be...
It doesn't even have the full title on Steam. It only has the full title in the image on Steam.
Yeah.
The actual name just says Bounty Star.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cut, with Kieran with Berlin Apartment, but I just wanted to put it on here so it could have a little shout out because I liked it. Okay. Any others?
Right, I'd better have a go, hadn't I?
Yeah, I think you ought to, because there's a few of yours.
I'd better have a go. Go on, give me a turn. I'm trying to figure out how many of my shields I want to sacrifice on this round. How many I want to keep in the back. Well, I'll be fair, and I will aim to get rid of 2 of my own picks, so that we'll be down to a 10 after that, and that's pretty cool.
5 to go, and we've done it.
Yeah, it feels like it's getting tough already, though, man.
So yeah, I think Promise Mascot Agency would be one of the cuts. Okay. I think it's a fucking weird game. I don't know what best of anything it would win, unless it was just weirdest
best
game
mascot game.
Yeah, best mascot game.
It's a really good game, but best weird game. Yeah.
Best weird game. Yeah, it's a It's a mascot company management simulator where you mainly drive around in a truck and collect little collectibles. But the story's cool just because it's kind of like Yakuza adjacent. It feels like it's basically the equivalent of, a stupid thing that would happen in Yakuza extrapolated
same
into a
voice
full
actor.
game. And same voice actor.
Yeah.
But it's like the story of a bodyguard guy. I mean, I put of the year, so everything that's wrong, just read like the Steam description and correct it for me. But yeah, you play as like a bodyguard guy who ends up being banished for something going wrong with criminal Yakuza shit. So you get banished to an island that's just full of mascots. But in this world, mascots are like living creatures as opposed to like people in suits, and you try and
because
redeem
that's why I was
yourself.
imagining like some guy in like a big foamy suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's that, but they are not a person in the suit. They're just like a living large block of tofu or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you sort of the aim of the game is to redeem yourself and earn money to help your criminal family from this like banished position. And it's fucking weird, and you spend a lot of time helping mascots not fall over curbs and stuff like that. Fucking weird game. Has a way more interesting story than it deserves to, and is very cool. And I don't know where it fits in on Game of the Year list, and it needs to get talked about somewhere. So it was here.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I can't back it up. I do like it a lot, but I can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other one that we've all been waiting to cut, unfortunately, is Sea of Stars: Throes of the Watchmaker, the free DLC chunk for Sea of Stars, which is the first part of that story that makes the two main characters who weren't that exciting really, really interesting. Like, by adding this, it's all set in a weird miniature Clockwork world where there are like evil versions of the two main characters, and it means that you sort of get to learn more about what they have internally as struggles, and it's so fucking cool. It's like as compelling story wise as Sea of Stars was in a shorter little bundle, and absolutely brilliant. Loved every minute of it. Gave it like a 10 out of 10. It's literally free if you've got Sea of Stars to just play it. So like everyone who likes Sea of Stars should play it. It would be really, really stupid if you didn't.
But
anyone else played the full thing, so
God, I wish I could fight this with you and be like, no, but it's probably one of two biggies that I just haven't got to. I started it and I enjoyed what I started, but sorry, Lyle. Yeah. I feel I've let you down here.
Well, I'm used to it at this point.
Yeah, I know. Steve, do you want to cut some more? Because we are down to 10.
I feel bad doing this because I haven't touched it at all. How good's the story in Doom: The Dark Ages? Because in my head, it's very much get out there, shoot shit in the face.
That's pretty much it. I think I added this just because it does a few things that are slightly different for Doom. Really, to be honest, I'm surprised it got this far. I forgot.
It's its way in.
But it is. But as Doom game, I will say, as Doom games go, it's got quite a good story. But
a lot of people didn't like it, though, did they? A lot of what you liked. I mean, because I like the fact there's cutscenes and a bit more exposition. But a lot of people, we don't want that.
A lot of people said, "What do you need this for?" But I
don't need it. It's just nice.
No, I never said it's quite good because it's not. It's not intrusive. It's not a storyline that gets in the way of anything. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't slow you down. You don't have to go. But the Doom guy's got he's got a bit of character for a change. Instead of just being rip and tear till it's done, blah blah blah. He has got a little bit of agency in things that he does.
Do you know my biggest issue with the story in this game is that I don't think they stitched it together very well. You sort of finish a chapter, and there were times where I actually thought, have I just skipped a level? Because sometimes the way they'll give you a cutscene and then you're in the next place, it's like it just didn't. Some of it's not stitched together that well. It's really odd.
A lot of the story happens around the Doomslayer. It's a bit like Master Chief in that it's just going to happen regardless whether he's there or not. But then, the bits in between the story is just him ripping and tearing,
which is great.
But Yeah, it is.
I apologise for my ignorance. I'm assuming he is voice acted and doesn't just like stand and nod silence.
He always has lines, but he has lines like Arnie in the Terminator has lines. You know, it's very like
no quips.
Yeah, it's quite dry and
not even quips. No, no, Steve, don't get the wrong impression. No,
there's no humour. The humour comes from how ridiculous Doom is. There's no actual humour in Doom.
Yeah, this isn't Duke Nukem where he's like, you know, kicking ass and chewing bubble gum. No, none of that. This is like you might get 2 lines in a game.
Yeah, the ball and chain gun. That's where the humour comes from.
Or like when you drown in lava and his hand terminators out of the like that sort of shit. Like those little things. Like that. That's the humour. He is not quipping. No, to be absolutely clear, there are no quips in this game at all. And it is very serious. This game, in fact, of all of them. And
it always does. Like a helicopter or something. And there's always like the like in this particular game, there's some cool bits where like he's just like a force of nature, this character, and like it works really well within the confines of he drives the story forward by just basically being like he dies at least twice, I think, in the story, and he's just like they just get up again, and it's just like and it always goes through this really satisfying, and this is one of the things I really like about the way Doom does it, especially now it's started to give you, because it's not really given you much of an antagonist before. Like there's always been an antagonist, you've always got some big boss to kill at the end, but this game's got an antagonist that shows up and he has a purpose, and he like kidnaps what is essentially Doom's version of a damsel, but she's just as fucking meathead and deadly as everybody else, and like but it has that wonderful moment in it where like this big bad guy who's like destroying everything and basically taking over the universe, at a certain point right towards the end of the story, he just shits himself when he realizes that it's like it's not happening. Like he's not beating this guy, and I like it's little moments like that I just enjoyed. But yeah, I mean, I thought it would be gone before a lot of games have already gone. I just forgot about it being on there. But yeah, you can cut Doom the Dark Ages. That's fair.
This is look like where it's getting tougher now, man.
I don't know. I think there's 2 quite easy cuts still, but then I think
there's at least. I think there's 2. I think there's 3 quite easy
potentially.
Cuts yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's you say them, then I'll see, because I don't want to.
So I think Citizen Sleeper 2.
Okay, interesting.
I think is a cut. I didn't like the story as much as the first one. The first one moved me in a lot of ways, and the second one felt like. Not bad, but
it's a lot longer. Like, there's a lot more.
It's a lot longer, and I felt like the second one was more of like, oh, this is what I did in the first game, and people liked it, so I've got to try and do that again, rather than it telling.
Yeah, you could make the argument a lot of what you could miss a lot of what makes the story particularly good. In a playthrough.
and I think there was some. I think that the choices felt like more raw in the first game to me, and like the stuff like with the guy and his daughter, that was the linchpin of my playthrough. And you could I know you could miss that in the first game, but that was the linchpin of my playthrough in the first game, and it gave the whole thing like a real depth of emotion that like kept me wanting to go. Like I needed to see the end, whereas in Citizen Sleeper 2 I didn't quite have that set, and I struggled a lot with the difficulty in the beginning of that because I felt like it ramped it up.
Well, I'm going to be
because again I picked the wrong class. If you remember,
I useless to help you be here because to keep anything, because I played the first one just before we got review code for the second one, so they have blurred. I think they're both phenomenal video games, but they have blurred so quickly for me. When you started talking about the dad and his girl, I was like, that was 2, wasn't it? And then when you said the first one, I was like, oh shit. I think they're both phenomenal video games.
And I think there's a lot more in the second one. But I think maybe the shorter length and the tighter focus helped. Yeah, I think it helped the first one being more story driven and or more story focused.
I mean, I couldn't. I mean, Kieran, I know you'll have played this, but I can't really keep it on this. You haven't?
No.
Have you played the first one?
Yeah, I really like the first one.
Yeah. I would say if you really liked it, you'll like this.
Oh, definitely.
I'm sure I picked a character that was a pain in the ass to use. And
there is one that's definitely hard mode, and they don't.
Yeah, I picked the engineer. I think it was, and it wasn't fun, and I had to start again. I started my whole playthrough again in the second one because I would cut it unless there's any.
See, that's what I thought you might fight for, Mick. To be fair.
No, there's one on here that's not been mentioned yet.
No, I know, and I've deliberately.
At the moment,
yeah, we know.
Okay, so you said there was 3? So did you say you got 2 more then?
Yeah. Off this list in particular, I was going to offer Hell Is Us.
I was going to ask you about that. I don't think it fits this list.
No.
It sort of doesn't fit any list comfortably because of how bizarre it is. Like, if there was you know what, Lyle mentioned, like, the most weird game, whatever. Like, this actually, I think, would be a bloody good contender for that.
I mean, the overall...
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, so the story is quite straight. So,
it's sort of
all right, so now,
either.
if you get into the weeds, you probably could argue in a way for it, because it's... So the main crux of it is that you play a guy named Remy, and he was born in this fictional European nation, Hedea, which is like, Hadia. We had this on the fucking podcast. So it's Hadia, and this place is like, it's in the middle of a civil war, and it's got this ancient like history of basically magic, which is just kind of accepted as something that existed in the world once. It's
also
the real
kind
world.
of arguments. There's three factions, isn't there? There's a religious sect, a military sect, and then kind of just everyone else, isn't there? I forget if there's
it's an alternate Earth, I think.
Yeah,
because it's like it's got like the ON, not the UN.
And they do specifically call out, like, I remember like them saying something like the Hadia is like a analogous to X. I forget what Ukraine or somewhere like that. Do you know what I mean? It's
because you've got the ordered nations, not the United Nations. And anyway, Remy's looking for his parents, because he was abandoned as a baby and he was raised outside of Hadia, and it's all cordoned off like a demilitarized zone that no one's allowed into or out of. And he wants to know about his past. So he grows up, he becomes like, he's also, like we said in the character thing, he's a high function sociopath. He's like very focused on this. He's like quite cold blooded, but he wants to know his past, right? He just wants to know what his past is. So he grows up, he's military, he gets seconded to an ON peacekeeping force, and he basically gets into Hadia. And then he sort of becomes, like, his life is rescued at the beginning by this, I can't remember what they're called now, but they're basically these like elite warriors with like, I mean, it's set in the 90s, but they've got like advanced drone technology and they fight with swords, and it's very fucking bizarre. And like, one of them saves his life and then dies, so he immediately puts her clothes on and they just fit him. Like, it's very strange. But then he's off cape. And like,
he's got a cape though, so that's cool.
He has got a cape. Yeah, he does get a cape. Yeah, but it's just a really good, but it's a really interesting world. Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
that's the thing. It's the world that's interesting to me. Like, exploring. It would be like giving best story to Elden Ring.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know people be like, "Well, Elden Ring's amazingly written." I'm not saying it's not well written. I'm just saying it's just too much.
Yeah, it's like great backstory, great world, but this through line is kind of just go here, go here, go here. And because again, it's one of those games where you can do it in whatever order you like. You lose any thread of story. Like, there's some cool self-contained stories. There's these cool little moments that you get where you can, I can't remember what they're called, good deeds, where which I appreciated in this game, because there's no like, you can do a good deed or a bad deed. There's no choices. Like, Remy is a guy who, despite everything, just kind of does the right thing. So there's no choices. There's no like, I'll choose to let you die and do this instead. It's just you're presented with these things.
Isn't it? I think he's quite a blank slate.
You could choose to not bother, or you could miss.
But that's why I think the story itself sort of doesn't hit, because of the way they've deliberately made him the way he is, because it makes him a kind of blank slate for you to impress yourself. Yeah, exactly that, and you can. Yeah, but it doesn't make best story, does it?
No, it can be removed.
And what was the third one? And that gets us down to 6, if everyone agrees on it.
Well, I was going to say, is it not time to launch baby steps into the stratosphere?
All right. Yeah, that's fine. I was thinking as well, you know, like you said before, it's a little bit like Hell Is Us, I guess, where it's got those great moments in it, but the actual, the bulk of it is just, you know, traveling up.
Well, it's also the fact that the other 6 games on the list we have not even mentioned once, because I think everyone's trying to keep their powder dry to be like, well, I want that game. You know what I mean? There's 6 games literally.
I mean, if you want to cut one of those 6 first, I'm more than happy with that.
I know you. I'm sure you would be. Yeah,
no, I'm fine with baby steps being cut. I think it's quite an interpretive story as well. Like, I think we said in the last episode, you know, it's not entirely clear what's actually happened to Nate in the first place. You know, when he gets blipped. So there's lots of ways to read it. It is a very personal story, so and you've already cut it. I was like,
I always do that in advance.
It's interesting.
I didn't even get to finish talking about it then.
No, but that's because you were talking about it. I always cut it quietly so that it's off the spreadsheet, and then the person can have their chance to. You still can talk about it. It's fine.
I'm done now.
Okay,
No, it's dead.
And now we're at the point where,
yeah,
I think everybody's probably got 5.
Shall I just before you do, Kieran? Shall I just quickly reiterate the 6 that now has to become 5, just so people are caught up? So currently, for best story, we need 5 games. We have 6, and those 6 are Dispatch, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Hades 2, The 100-Line, Last Defense Academy, The Altars, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. And now, Kieran, I shall throw to you because I think you're going to cut Dispatch.
No. What is the story of Hades 2? And is it really good?
Yes. It's God of War, sort of. Like it's difficult to describe. It's kind of God of War, but like done in a really, it's just done in a really good way. Like I feel weird because it's like I feel cutting this feels like an insult to the writers of the game because the writing is so fucking good.
The writing is really good, but it's all the character writing that
is what
carries
I mean.
it. The actual thread of the story, I don't think is that interesting. To be fair,
and why do you think it's not
you're going through and you're unlocking story beats per run as you go. Depending on actions you take, you'll meet different characters and they'll feed you different little bits of story tidbits as you go. Do you think that story is that interesting?
I do, but I would have to really spoil shit because like the story with Zagreus...
it's spoiler territory, Adam.
No, I know, but like there's story stuff with Zagreus, there's story stuff with Hecate about who she is and stuff that like they deliver the story throughout in a way where you're like, you think you know, but you don't know, and like the stuff with Hecate, for example, the stuff with Zagreus, the stuff with your granddad in the game, obviously. The stuff when you go upstairs to the world of Olympus, and then you know the sort of dichotomy of how that Melanoe is obviously from the underworld, kind of shitty underworld down there, but you're now helping the people up there, and it's just this really weird because it's all so familial. Like the story. Yeah,
because for anyone that doesn't know, it's basically a rescue story. You are going out there to rescue your family. That is the basic version, and you're doing these runs all to work your way to the end and release your family.
But that's the way the thing you mentioned about the I suppose you're right. The thing you mentioned about the characters and stuff, like the way even when you think, oh, I'm done, I'm going to see credits and then I'm going to just be doing runs to get the true ending and shit, like it's all so cleverly intertwined with and it's all basically the central story is spidered out to everything, and it's so cleverly done. Like I say, the Hecate stuff, which I don't want to spoil, but it's like it's so cool. Zagreus stuff, like I wasn't expecting to see him at all, and then there he is. And then there's even the stuff
he's
with
back,
like,
baby.
Say again.
I said he's back.
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of everyone's back. That is also one of the things that I think people hold against it, is that it is more story of an established universe, but that is...
I mean, it's nice to have that level of familiarity with a bunch of characters, though. You kind of like, oh, they're back, that's cool, and they've got a nice new art design for them. It looks very nice, but I don't know. I'm not that into the base story.
The problem I have with
to
cutting
me, it's
this
a gameplay
is
factor,
if we cut this, if we cut Hades 2, it means Death Stranding 2 is in the top 5, and I don't think the stories of that is the through line of the story. I don't think it's much to write home about.
I haven't played Death Stranding 2. But I mean, the story of Death Stranding 1 was just a bowl of bonkers flakes from like start to finish. And as much as I love Death Stranding 1, really like Death Stranding 1, and it's really cool, it's kind of mental. So I don't know. I mean, fight for Death Stranding 2 by all means.
I mean, that's what you sign up for, man, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's exactly what you expect it to be.
I think it's done better. Like I think this is maybe the game that made me. I don't want to say understand Kojima, because that's not what. But I think that this is the one where it's like, okay, I kind of get it, but it sort of took him making a game where there's no. I mean,
it's the most restrained story. I think it's his most restrained story.
One word, but it's also kind of not got any weird pervy stuff in it. Really, I mean, I know there's a few bits.
There's a lot of feet in that game.
There's a bit with feet and stuff, but like in terms of other stuff, like it is quite restrained in a lot of ways. It is a more human story than he's done in certainly Death Stranding series. I don't think it's that coherent. Like, I think it's actually a fucking great video game, by the way, which is why it's in lots of categories. But as an actual coherent story, the way it jumps around and stuff, and I know that's what the first did, I don't think it delivers the story in a properly coherent way that you sit down. Like, if I'm sitting here right now and trying to fight for it, saying it's the best story, I think I need some piece of paper, because I'm like, I don't think I can put it together properly in my head.
There's a lot going on, isn't there?
That's it. There's kind of too much going on for me to go, oh, what a great story. What a great game. Like, I will say, when I finished it, I was like, what a fucking great game. What an awesome ending. What a... But, like, there's also just some moments in it where I'm like, it's still... Look, yes, I agree with Kieran. It is probably his most restrained thing. But there is also some stuff in that game where you're like... So, for example... The bit where Sam gets put on fire, Kieran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that goes on too long, man. That's
yeah, but that's not really story. That's just that.
I mean, it's a big.
Going.
It is a big part of the story in that Higgs is
that's just
torturing him.
It's just torturing him, isn't it? Yeah.
He's basically torturing him throughout the game. So it is. I think that is a part of the story, and it's like you want to. I found I was like, I almost want to look away. Like, enough.
It's like the ladder, isn't it? The ladder in Metal Gear Solid 3. It goes on for ages for no real reason.
No real reason.
It's a stroke of genius. It's putting you in that character's position. It's breaking down boundaries.
I'm sorry. The one thing I cannot agree with there is I will never say at any point did I feel like I was in Sam Bridges' shoes.
Did you not feel like you were being tortured, watching him being tortured over and over again?
No, I felt like I was watching someone. And this is what that scene in particular annoyed me.
I don't think Kojima does relatable.
No, but that's the thing. That one scene stands out to me specifically because it's like, for the rest of the game, I feel like, and I'm sure he didn't, and Kieran, you can back me up and played through it all, but I can almost feel like he did have an editor for a change, and someone went, what if? And he listened. And then there's that scene, and a couple of scenes like it, where you're like, fucking hell, you can take the man out of Kojima, but you can't take the Kojima. You know what I mean?
What if this one's not beautiful, but also in some weird, fine way?
There's basically two stories in there. There's the story of what's happening at that moment and how they're trying to save the world, essentially. But then there's also the story of Lou / spoilers.
Well,
Death Stranding 2. Lou / tomorrow.
I nearly said Ellie, but yeah, tomorrow.
And
I think her story in particular is really, really good. Like that moment at the start of the game where you think she's died. That's genuinely like.
But in the same respect, did you not see some of the? Like, so I can't remember his name. The character that's definitely not Metal Gear Solid Man.
Oh, Nirvana.
I said Nirvana. Yeah. Did you not see some of that? I felt that was not the best part of the game's writing. I felt some of that was like, it was almost like you wanted to go, you can speed this bit up. We get it. We worked this out about 3 scenes ago. Do you know what I mean?
Well, there was a lot of back, because they made it. You weren't exactly sure who the baby was, were you? And even they weren't for a good long part of the game. It was In fact, it almost painted the ex-wife in quite a bad light, really.
Yes.
If anyone's the villain of that part of the story is her.
I'm still not 100% sure she's not, if that makes sense. Like, I'm still not 100% sure what was actually going on there. Was he cheating on? I don't really.
Yeah, she was cheating on with Nirvana.
With Kurt.
And when he died during the big
they should have called him Kurt Varner. They should have called him Kurt Nirvana.
But finding out that Lou is tomorrow, I think everyone sort of had an inkling either Lou was either going to be tomorrow or Lou was going to be somehow in the samurai, the samurai robot samurai thing. But finding out that she was saved by Fragile, and Fragile basically died that day saving her, and has been clinging on to, because her soul goes with her and her body comes back. So, and her body's basically on life support after
I think that's the problem I have.
It is
with
ridiculous.
The story,
I mean, it's difficult to follow.
I don't think I understand that stuff. I think so. I get what's going on as a main story often, but the whole beach stuff and like the souls on the beach. I don't think I've ever fully grasped and understood what the fuck he's going on about with that. And I think that meant while the stuff towards the end is really sad. I agree, and it's like I didn't see it coming, that bit. I don't really think I understood how. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, well, she's been clinging on for fucking Like, I've played this for 60 hours. What are you talking about? Like, she's just been here the whole time like a normal human being, and now you're saying, oh no, but she's actually been sort of kind of half dead as well all the time, and now she is died, even though you had a snog with her, but of course now she's
it's
not.
the heart and the car, isn't it, that they keep talking about in that game and the first one. They talk about the heart and the car and separating them, and they do set precedent for it, but I do agree. It's convoluted. It's Kojima. All of his stories are convoluted.
Yes, that is fair. So I guess it's whether you prefer that or you prefer... I don't know.
I mean, I've not played Hades 2, so I can't comment on that.
I've not played
I
either.
would say the fact how much we talked about this over Hades 2 says a lot.
It's about the same, I feel. I thought we've talked about it.
Think,
and that's well, yeah.
I think there's way more to discuss about Death Stranding than there
but
is
that's
Hades.
because Hades 2 is better written, I would argue, that I can understand it, and I'm not that thick, if you know what I mean. Like, I can actually understand it, whereas Death Stranding at times makes me feel quite dim. Because it's are you not explaining yourself, or am I just thick? Maybe I'm just thick. That's fine.
I've not played it, but knowing the previous games by the creator, how convoluted and complex does the 100-line get?
Oh, God. Lyle.
Hey, now. Whoa, now.
Because I'm thinking,
what are we coming for here?
I know, and I do really want to play it, but I know what Danganronpa 2 and 3 were like, and I had to look up things in those games to work out what the fuck was going on.
Okay, I understand this. I think it's difficult with 100-line, because I think with 100-line, or that you'll, for so much of the game, you will purposefully not know so many aspects of it. And it's more about exploring that through different things. And then alongside that, there's a lot of the story is like exploring different endings that are so incredibly different from each other that sort of like you rewind back and forth from. So not necessarily all of them will end up being canon. In fact, sort of almost none of them in some ways, I guess, if you really think about it. It's a difficult one because I think, for me, I mean, it would be the top of my list, unsurprisingly, because I just think the twists and turns that it takes on that story to get to the places it goes, like, would just very much repeatedly just, like, had me gasping at my Switch and just,
I really want to play it.
I was just so not ready for so many different twists. I fucking love that story.
I think it asks quite a lot of you in terms of, like, it asks you to have faith in what it's doing quite a lot, because there's a lot of it's weird. It's a bit like, again, I keep going back to it. The game I would compare it to in terms of the story or how it's delivered is Nier Automata. You have to have faith. You're playing the first playthrough, and there's definitely sections of that first playthrough where you're like, you need to fucking get on with this now. This is actually silly. Like, you've done so many twists and turns that it's like you're just delaying the game ending. But of course, you have to have that faith that that's for a reason, and it is, and it all works out. And there is actually, on reflection, no bit where I'm like, oh, head in hand, like, this is, for God's sake, it all actually makes sense why they go to such. Because then, when in subsequent playthroughs, you're not spending all these time doing these things because that's the way the story works. But you do have to have an awful lot of faith in that first playthrough, and it's a bit you don't know. I mean, you might you know, Kieran, because you'll have read stuff and like heard about the multiple endings, but you don't know that when you're first playing it officially. You're not supposed to know that. So a lot of it is on good faith, and a lot of it is you are rewarded hugely for that good faith. But there's no question that during that before you see credits for the first time, and then you truly understand that, like, you might have seen credits, but that's just because it's traditional. That's not actually the end of the game at all. There's a lot of drawn out story, I think is the way I would put it. A lot of the story feels very drawn out, but again, it's very difficult because it is absolutely, in my mind, intentional, so that when you do then subsequently play 2, 3, 4, 5 more times, it's not drawn out anymore. Because what they do, we're going to have to get into this a little bit. What they do is, sorry, Kieran, and anyone who really wants, but I think it needs saying that. We got to that point. Essentially, at the end of this game, you have a choice to make, and you go back in time, and you then play the whole game again, right? Now, that might sound like pretty simple, and like, oh yeah, well, that's New Game Plus. No, what they do is you do that, but your character retains the knowledge of the story. So this isn't like a New Game Plus where you've got all your skills and your experience and you can keep leveling up. In fact, it sort of doesn't do that. Like, it does give you new moves, but what this actually does is your character, your in-game avatar, retains the knowledge of the previous playthrough, meaning that when you play through this story a second time, you know what the story is. You know how people are going to act because you have experienced it before, and therefore you can change how things go. Hence why there are 100+ endings or whatever. Because every time you reach the end of the story and you restart again, and then, by the way, it's not like exactly the same playthrough. There's quite a significant amount different. You will eventually...
Oh, loads, yeah.
You will find things that are the same, but like right off the bat. In fact, it kind of tricks you because at first it is sort of similar and then it just goes completely different because straight away you realize, oh shit, that big thing. I know this guy. We talked about one of the characters who's repulsed by people. So you don't find that out until like
the end of the game, basically, in your first playthrough. Yeah,
but when you restart, because your character's gone back in time and retained the knowledge, you know right from the off what this guy's deal is. You know he's he's sneaking around. You know what he's doing. You can stick him in jail, or you can straight up murk the motherfucker.
Yeah, my second playthrough was, well, if we just kill that guy, what will happen then? And what happens is that has quite a lot of quite a huge effect on all the other people who you're with, who are like, why is this person been fucking murdered?
But that's the other thing that I really think they do so well with the story and the writing is, so there's a point early on in your second playthrough where you can actually just come clean to everyone and tell them. Like, it's like so few games give you that level of actual investment in a character of where, like, if you were playing this game and it was happening to you, you go back in time, what would you do? Would you sit down and say, Steve, this awful thing's going to happen, I'm going to warn you about it now so it doesn't happen? And then when they say, well, how the fuck can you know this? We go, because I've come back through time. You actually get to do that. Like, literally go, yeah, look, the reason I know this is because I've travelled through time. I know exactly what's going to happen. I can prove it to you. This is how. And then you do all these things. And I've never seen a game do that. Like, I've never seen a game do that with its story to like literally have you replay it in a way where your character, because it's all very well you as the human controlling the character to retain the knowledge and know it, but you're still playing through the same
almost,
thing.
You know?
Yeah, again, it's New Game Plus. You're playing through it again because you enjoyed it. This isn't
that's just you going, I'll make this choice instead.
Yeah,
but
no, this isn't that. This is that. Exactly that. Your character knows that, and they've every single part of the story. They let that be reactive to the knowledge that your character and you know what's coming. They literally, in the second playthrough, I don't know what happens if you don't do this, because I came clean and I'm like, yeah, I'm from the future, this is what happens. They literally straight away can see to you like, well, lead us to victory. You know, my brain's going, well, I didn't fucking do that well last time, but I'll give it a go because I know what's coming. And you can literally, but then as any real good game with choices have consequences and things change. It's the butterfly effect, I guess, isn't it, Lyle? Like where you think, right, I'm going to do this, but then more comes and you're like, oh shit, well I didn't know that was going to happen. And that's how they keep you playing like 7 more times plus. And that's all the story. Like you are constantly wanting to see, well now I know this time. It's like replaying a fucking Telltale game, knowing the outcome, but yet still somehow the story, and the character does too, and the story's so well written that every time you think you're going to do it, they butterfly effect you into another corner, and you're like, "Fuck you, game," but in a good way. Like it's remarkable.
I'm convinced.
There are so many different
that sounds
bits.
quite impressive.
Yeah,
it's like I say, I've never seen a video game do it where the character knows. Like New Game Plus is always one of these really weird things, I think, where you just start a new game and you've kept it, and people love New Game Plus. I don't know why it's always a big deal, isn't it? With patch notes, we've added New Game Plus. It's like, well, I could have just played it again anyway. But like this, it's really weird to do New Game Plus brackets story knowledge, like for your character. Like I honestly can't think of it ever being done before, and that's what sort of blows my mind about the story.
That doesn't sound like a cut.
No,
that does not sound like a cut.
I mean, I agree, and I know Lyle does, but I will say again, like Kieran, even though you're still going to play it, it will ask a lot of you that first session. That first
80-hour session.
It's not quite that. It's not. I mean,
80 hours, is it?
No, it's not. It's about
no.
Because that's the other thing as well. Is like it's quite clever because it's called 100 line. You know, do you remember, Lyle? I was texting you through it. Like I was like, I think I must be quite far because I'm like day 80 now, and fuck all's what's everyone raving about? And then you get like really close and like, I don't understand. This game's really setting out its stall that it's 100 days long because there's a big thing's going to happen on day 100. It tests you. It does test you that first time because you're like, well, either nothing's going to happen or a lot is going to happen in like 24 hours in this game. It does test you a little bit, but like it's the game I wish I could just keep playing. Like just keep playing because on top of everything else, the turn-based combat is like top tier Fire Emblem style combat, if you know what I mean, like that.
Yeah.
So it's like that's top tier, and knowing the story lets you speed things up and lets you make these calls. Like I just wish I could just keep fucking playing it like it is. But yeah.
It's one of those games that I don't know. The more I play it, the more impressed I am with it. Like when I reviewed it and gave it, I think a 9.5 after I'd seen like maybe 3 endings or something like that, and then I played more as the year went on because I wanted to, and was like, maybe that was a little low actually because I've played a lot of this game now, Yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to regret this, but I'd rather keep 100 Line over Hades 2. I think. Just because I've never seen.
Sounds more intriguing.
I've just never seen a game do it. I've never seen a game do. I mean, it shouldn't exist. It shouldn't exist. Like someone at the studio should have gone. You can't do that. You can't, because if people don't complete that and see this amazing thing you've done, we're fucked. We're fucked, man. Like you've invested all this time and money, and if people don't see the credits for any reason and see what game out there is like, look, this game's a 10 out of 10, but you have to actually complete it first, then the game starts. Like, what game does that? That's an insane business model. Especially since the game's not like 4 hours long. That's nuts. It shouldn't
What's
exist.
an average playthrough?
I think it's like 20 plus, isn't it, Lyle? It's about 20.
Yeah, I was going to say 20 to 30 would be like the first. I think playthroughs after the first are quicker.
Yes.
For the most part.
It depends on how quick you read, I suppose, as well, because a lot of it is text-based. So it's, if you're buttoning through quite quickly, and if you get the combat and smash it, there's an easy mode as well, I think, isn't there?
I assume so. I think so, yeah. I'm pretty
I feel like there must be.
So, not to move us on, but there's
we do need to.
Yeah, at some point.
So, I really don't want to bring this game up. Because it would be, if I had a 5 on this list, it's in there. If I had a 3 on this list, it's in there. But I do have to, because we're discussing story, I do have to ask. And I'm not suggesting this is a cut. I just want to discuss it. How many people here actually understood what the fuck was going on in Clair Obscure Expedition 33? I mean, I did, but that's what I wanted to discuss because I know it's a game that to me was like I couldn't stop.
Yes,
I'm not suggesting a cut, but I wanted to bring it up as a game that is very much, you could either say it's got phenomenal writing and a phenomenal story, but I know from reading what other people had said and talking to people about it, like particularly some like people I know outside of like games, like we all live in a bubble of games, but people outside of a bubble of games I was talking to were like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it's amazing. And I explained it because I've deep dived this game since it came out, and I don't
think you need to deep dive it though. I do actually think they explain it pretty well. It does. It does what kind of older JRPGs do, where the story is very good all the way through, but they do backload a lot of. But then saying that, I didn't see the end of Act 1 twist coming, and I won't spoil it here because we could save that for the best moment. But I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming, and I didn't see the end of Act 2. I think it was the end of Act 2 twist as well, which is not in best moments. So that's the bit where you think you've won, and then you think you've really fucking lost, and then it turns out that here's a reveal. This is actually what's going on in the world, and which is just, it does that. It really does a good job of. Do you know what? Like, I think that's a lock on the list.
Oh, so I would certainly agree with you.
I was just curious as to whether there was going to be resistance from anybody.
There's no resistance from me because from the story side of this game. No. And
I know that maybe Kieran in particular may not, because I know you haven't played as much, and I don't know whether you got into it as much, because it had me from minute 1 till minute whatever. Right, it took me 40 hours.
The cinematic opening nature of it, and then it just
how good it looks. Really good.
Yeah,
and I couldn't. I literally. I mean, I was saying to Adam during the review process, I cannot fathom this out. Like I had theories galore, and I
think it's testament to how good the story is that of all the games on this list, do you know what? Even Dispatch, I'll include it, and you guys know how much I love that. This is Clair Obscura Expedition 33 is the game I wish I could wipe my brain of this year. You know, every year there's a game that good where you wish, like for me, the last one I think of is like the God of War games. I wish I could, you know, if someone says to me, oh yeah, I haven't played it and I'm just going to start it, I'm jealous. And I don't get jealous. I wish I could wipe my brain of Clair Obscura and start that with not knowing any of that, because every time I think back to that game, and it feels like a fucking eternity ago that game came out now.
It's not recency bias keeping this one in the list.
And that's the thing.
I mean?
I'm almost scared. I would love to replay this game, but I'm kind of scared to, because I wouldn't want it to not have the impact those moments had, because it is such a cinematic story and like the music and everything. I would be scared that because I knew what was coming, I wouldn't feel as good. And I think that's so. There's so much of the story, and I think they deliver it as well. Because let's not beat around the bush. There is some stuff about this game that is a bit weird. Some of the story is a bit like weird, like kind of but they actually deliver on it all. They deliver on it all.
Fantastical. Like it is completely and utterly out there. Like
but
it's
they
in a
explain
fictional world that exists inside an already fictional world. That is
so like all the weird shit towards the end. And right to the end, I was worried. Like, please don't drop this. Don't
both
fumble
endings
the landing.
as well. Both endings.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Spectacularly well.
And both endings, you could argue with each other. Like we could argue.
Right.
No, mine was right. No, mine was right.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they really do deliver. Like because the thing
is,
they are both right.
They've even said there isn't a canon ending to this point.
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
I know if they sequelize it, which I can't imagine how they would, but I can't imagine it also not getting a sequel.
You could sequelize the idea.
Yeah,
but not. I don't think you could make Clair Obscura Expedition 33 2.
That's the other thing I like as well. It's not a sequel-based story. It's it's a self-contained. This happens to these characters, and regardless of which ending you choose, it's an ending.
Yeah, 100%. It's an ending. Yeah.
So what are we cutting?
Yeah, what are we cutting?
Are we chopping out Hades then?
Well, you haven't discussed. We still haven't discussed Dispatch, and we still haven't discussed the Altars.
Yeah, I did kind of want to know a bit more about the Altars as one of the games I haven't played, just to be balanced. Okay. I know that it is definitely
that's fair.
A Mick design.
Yeah, it's a me game. I know Adam's played quite a bit of it.
It's one of those games, and I'll yield to you in a sec, Mick, but what I do want to say about it is one of them games that you might start it and you might be like, well, I don't really understand what these guys are talking about best story-wise, because it is certainly not front-loaded. But that's because I think they want to give you this sense of sort of, not wonder, more intrigue. They want you to sort of go, what is this? What is this story? And then they also have to teach you a lot mechanically, quite quickly, very quickly actually. They have to teach you a lot, because this is part kind of satisfactory of setting up, not factories, but processing. That this is part XCOM where you have a base building that you physically move around in, and then very quickly, all of a sudden, there's the idea of the way you're going to actually manage this is by cloning yourself, and that raises so many questions when it comes to ethical questions.
Well, that's what
but not just that, but like just actually managing that, as because you are the progenitor of the clones, you're the kind of boss also.
Yeah, well, you become very fatherly as well in it, and but it's a game that is like, I think it's more what it does and the way it tells the story that because it's a game that kept me hooked all the way through, because I kept expecting it to go dark, or it kept like the ending, which I probably won't spoil unless I have to, but there's multiple endings because obviously there's multiple paths through the game. There's some quite tough choices in the game, ethical choices, and the ending that I got, I tend to look into these things, but I got the good ending, or what I consider to be a good ending. And I thought it was going to be, because, so you play as Jan, and I said to Adam, I wish I'd put him in best new character. I can't believe I didn't, because you literally play 11 versions of this one character voiced by the same guy.
Also, do you know another category should have been in? Probably best sound because of the voice actor managing to do 11 different Yans who are all Yan.
11 different versions. He sings a song in like 5 different voices of the same character. But like, so he clones himself. But the way the cloning works, as a bit of background, just to like really set the scene. So the way that he crashes on this planet and his crew is dead. And his job is to build. And this ship that they've got is like a big wheel. And this hub is designed to move around, and it 3D
Imagine if they
prints.
stuck XCOM inside a big wheel that moves.
That's what it's like, and you can 3D print, basically 3D print, construct whatever the habitat needs, and that's his job. That's his role. He's not a medic. He's not a medic or a doctor or the captain or anything. He's just a builder. That's his job. But on this ship, on this thing they've got is a state of the art. Like I said, it's designed to print matter and stuff, and it's got a state of the art facility where you can clone like anything. Basically,
you clone a sheep at first, don't you?
He clones a sheep at first, and then he realizes that there's also built into this thing. There's this quantum computer, which is what's helped them like travel through the stars and stuff. And this quantum computer is able to, so it's mapped out all of the crew's history. It's designed to map out all of the crew's history by sort of reading their memories. Like it extrapolates memory, and then so it's got, Jan puts himself in the machine, and the machine takes a record of his entire life from birth up to this point. And at every juncture where there's an option to go another way, there's these branches. So when he creates a clone of himself, he needs a guy who can fix the ship because he can't fix the ship. So he goes through this quantum computer and he finds a version of himself out of the billions of versions of Jan that could have existed, who was an engineer, who became an engineer. And then he clones him and he imprints this memory on him. And then you can do this with several. You can do this with so the first two you have to do, the engineer and the scientist, you have to do. And then beyond that, you've got like a doctor, a botanist, a shrink, a miner, and you've got all these versions of Jan, and they're all different. Like they've all had completely different lives from a certain point. So like I think is it the miner who's like, he was like an activist, and you find out that he's gay and he wants to go back to Earth because he wants to reconnect with his husband, but his husband doesn't exist in this timeline.
That's something I want to shout about the story. They do really well. Like there's times where you will have full on arguments with clones of yourselves, and they're like, "But I just want to get back to our girlfriend," and you're like, "Yeah, she's she's not our girlfriend." What do you mean she's? Well, we're sort of on and off. What do you mean we're on? We got married. Yeah. Like you fucking.
Yeah, well, there's like one of the Jans who is still married to your ex-wife in their memory. Yes. So they're still in love with your ex-wife.
Because in their head, they are married still, and they're happily married.
And there's a version of Jan which is really fucking quite sinister. I think it's the miner who lost his arm.
An arm. He died for me.
So he lost his arm, and so when you bring him back,
did I ever tell you why he died for me? By the way.
Yeah. So when you bring him back, he has chronic pain in his arm, because in his memory this arm shouldn't be there, and he's learned to live without it. So at a certain point, if you can't help him in time by researching what he needs, he just fucking hacks it off in the medical room. Like he just hacks his arm off because he can't.
Has he got like reverse phantom pain?
Yeah, He has a psychotic break, and he just removes it because it doesn't feel.
That's exactly what he has, and so that's how he died for me, because they then were asking for pain meds, and I won't go into it because it's really fucking dark, but you can probably imagine.
It's really. But like at a certain point in the story, and I will spoil it a little bit because this is what we're doing. So spoilers to everybody. But at a certain point in the story, you've cloned a sheep, and then you've cloned like 3 or 4 guys by now. You can clone 6 out of the available 10. Yeah. So at a certain point, and the engineer in particular talks to the sheep. Like he's quite lonely, he's quite surly, and he's a bit of an arsehole. He doesn't get on with you because he thinks you're a pussy. Because he was the version of you that stood up to your dad and defended your mum, whereas you're the version of you that ran away from home because your dad was abusive. So this guy just thinks you're a pussy. He's just like, I can't believe you left mum to deal with that on her own, and he didn't. So like, he needs to talk to someone. So he talks to the sheep. Well, then one morning you get up in the morning and the sheep has died from like a sudden like degenerative brain disease. And obviously you work out because of the scientists that it's because you cloned it and it's a fault in the cloning process. So then you've got like a big choice to make, where you can either like install this device that will stop the brain disease but will alert the company at home of what you've done, which is technically cloning is illegal, or you can clone a version of you that you don't put a memory in so that you can harvest fresh tissue from it, and whichever one of these choices you make, it pisses one half of the group off or the other half of the group off. They both think both of these are incredibly unethical decisions to make. But the cool thing is that I chose to do the implant after I'd already cloned the tabula rasa. And then after that moment, there's like a big storm, because obviously like the sun on this planet keeps rising behind you. And every time the sun rises, you book it in your big like wheel to the dark side of the planet, because the sun will just burn anything it touches and you'll die instantly. But when the first time this happens, this big storm happens, and you're moving people around all these rooms to try and get everything fixed, and they are really fucking stressful events to stay on top of. We woke up in the morning, and the clone with no memory had just woke up, and he's just like a caveman that you then have to take care of for like the rest of he's like just grunts at you, and he can't talk, and he just eats everything. So all your food stores go down, and it's like and so you've got to deal with like that side of it, and then like you have a schism because you get a rebellion. I tried multiple different ways to try and stop the rebellion from happening, but the engineer took half of the yams and fucked off to the other side of the planet. So like, and when you find out that this great big solar flare is coming towards the end, and it's like, well, I can leave them to die and focus on us, or I can do the responsible heroic thing now and go and try and save my creations, because you feel responsible for them. And it's just really good. And I tell you what as well, it's a story with just like, I don't know how far you played into the story, but
Act 2 somewhere.
Yeah, it's got a lot of heart, like especially towards the back end. The character of Jan, the main character you play, he's like a really normal, ordinary, flawed guy. Like I said, he ran away from home instead of dealing with his abusive dad. He couldn't save his marriage with his wife, she left him. Like he's on a spacecraft, and he's like the top mind in his particular field, but his particular field, as he describes it, is he just puts blocks together. Like he doesn't do anything actually useful on his own. He'll just die. So he needs to, but he takes responsibility for these clones. And like I said, like I've spoiled a lot of it, so I won't spoil the ending.
Well, I was going to say, at some point, I think we can stop spoiling this one, because I think it comes down to the point of basically, unless someone's going to suddenly go, I think we should cut Dispatch, I think Hades 2 is the one that others have suggested we cut, and it's sort of still there. And I'm not hearing anyone say they want to cut Dispatch over Hades 2.
I can't.
I'm not saying I would. I'm just saying I'm not.
Yeah, I feel like the two games I was maybe a little bit thinking seemed like the bottom two were either one of Hades 2 or Death Stranding 2, whereas all the others that I've heard anything about, whether I've played them or not, it's been like, that's definitely on the list, in it, you know?
So too.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye Hades 2. So are the Alters and Death Stranding the bottom two games, and in what order?
I was quite convinced by that.
The Alters is terrific.
About the Alters, yeah, that sounded fucking awesome.
The Alters is not only a terrific story, the game is genuinely awesome as well. I think you'd like it probably more than anyone else here who hasn't played it. I think, Steve, you'd probably enjoy it.
I mean, it sounds like Moon crossed with a multiverse story. What's there not to love about that?
Yeah.
It's not even what I'd call like story heavy.
No, absolutely not. No.
The story just forms a really solid backbone for everything that's going on, and the characterization is just fucking wonderful.
So, are we saying Death Stranding's 5th and the Alters is 4th?
I think so.
I mean, personally, I'd
be fine with that anyway.
I know Steve might be the only person that agrees with me on this, but Claire Obscure I didn't enjoy enough to finish the game.
Yeah.
To get to the end of the first act, if I'm being honest. I really,
Have you
really
played
like
it, Steve? Sorry,
I've
Kieran,
played maybe 4 to 5 hours. For me, it's been a case of it's a game that I can certainly see how good it is. It's just come at the wrong time. I have to very much be in the mood for, turn-based RPG. And I can see how good it is. It just came at the wrong time for me. It's something I'll definitely pick up at some point and give it more a blast. Just not right now.
When it comes to Switch 2, perhaps.
Possibly. Who knows?
I say, sorry, when? That sounds like I have no idea, but I don't see
insider knowledge.
Yeah. Insider could again.
No, not at all. It'd be nice. Do you know what? That would be a great chance for me to play it again.
Yeah.
So, hang on. So what?
I don't. I mean, I would swap 4 and 3, but there's not much in the argument for me because Lyle hasn't played the Altars and I haven't played 100 Line. So, I mean, the placement of those is, if that's what we're looking at.
It's genuinely like, I'm glad this is 5, not 3, because they would be joint 3 for me, like in so many different ways.
Oh, if we'd left
do
this
so
as
many,
a 3, I think we would have had trouble.
Oh yeah, that would have been awful, wouldn't it?
That would have been pretty bad. But I do think if I was going to be forced, like at gunpoint, Mr. Cook, what's better story, 100 Line or the Altars? I think,
but it's so different again as well.
But
It's such a different manner of storytelling.
But I think it's just purely because the 100 Line just does I've just never seen that done before. Which is, I'm not saying the Altars
based on what Lyle said, I think I would agree that I want to play 100 Line now.
I do think you probably wouldn't enjoy it, unfortunately.
Well, it's fair. It's not my sort of game, really.
But I also don't think that Lyle would enjoy the Altars, if that makes sense. So it's
maybe
kind of
not
like,
as much as I did.
he might. He might. I don't want to talk about either of you, like, not here, but they kind of are both. I just think the 100 Line blew my mind. Yeah. Like, I didn't see it with the 100 Line. Like, I just didn't see it. I was like, this is a really fucking good tactics game and a really good Danganronpa game. But what? And then you hit that credits, and it was just like, to me, it's like, oh, fuck. Like,
I mean, it's apples and oranges to me, so I'm quite comfortable.
That's it. So I do wonder, is
3,
that what
4,
we're
and
arguing
5 being
for?
as they are? And Lyle's not going to argue, I'm sure, because
no, I'll be alright with that.
Some reason he suddenly wants to go down, I suppose. But
I don't know about 1 and 2 though. I genuinely don't know.
I mean, we got to get into a bit of dispatch chat, haven't we?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's still probably Claire out of those two.
It's Claire for me, story-wise.
But I do think it's worth discussing because, I mean, is it worth getting into the story of Dispatch? Because
that's the whole game, isn't it?
Well, it's the whole game, and we've got 6 best moments of it, so we're going to have to go back into the story.
Yeah.
So, like,
I mean, it's a fucking phenomenal story, 100%. Isn't it? I mean, it is. It's even in such a way that I don't even have to say any spoilers, but even in such a way that I didn't expect a lot of it to happen the way it did. I didn't expect even outside of Bob Robertson, I didn't expect certain characters to do.
Good old Bob. Here's the thing for me,
we're
right,
friends
with these games,
now, me and Bob.
like I personally speaking, I can't fault the story of Claire Obscure. Like, I can't think of a single moment in that where I didn't think this is great. Like, I can't think of a moment that was poorly written or the story didn't deliver for me. While I don't agree with what some of us have actually said about Dispatch, like the ending and some of the chase stuff, I also can't ignore that it has been said. Does that make sense? That's my basis for saying I think Claire Obscure should be number 1. Because I just can't fault it, and I haven't heard anybody else fault it. Whereas Dispatch, I have. Kieran, this seems really grossly unfair to do this, but you mentioned like the ending for you didn't quite land. I mean, I'd say it's unfair. It's literally in your review, so I mean, it's there for all to see.
But I think again, it's the ending is very malleable.
Using his words against him.
The actual story itself that leads up to that, I think, is. I don't know.
You mentioned about like the chase stuff. Now, I love that. But I totally can respect that you didn't. I think, Steve, you...
I think I
think they bottled it a little bit with Chase's story.
I mean, that is something
darker. I cannot
There's a lot of games that I want to go to a darker place that don't sometimes.
But here's the thing, right? If anyone's going to use the term like they bottled it, like Steve's just done, and I know that's I know he's not being nasty. It's just
not at all.
But like, if anyone's going to say that, I can't say that about Claire Obscure. They literally at the end of that game go, look, we've given you every fucking bit of information you need. You make the fucking choice, and when you do that,
it's miserable no matter what.
This is what I mean. And no matter what you do,
Claire
you
Obscure
feel
doesn't
right and
shy
wrong.
away from. It does not shy away from certain.
No, but those two games are like yin and yang in terms of like Dispatch is this lovely world of no one's going to die, nothing bad's ever happening. Whereas Clair Obscur is like the whole thing's fucking, the whole concept of the game is basically we need to go and fight this weird, some sort of deity because everyone dies at a certain age, if not. But this
what an amazing premise! What just a fucking amazing premise for a story.
But that's my whole argument, I think, for why I think Clair Obscur is number one, because it gives you every bit of information,
I can agree with that.
and then goes, look, we've given you all that info. Finish this story. We've given you some outcomes. But finish your story that you've been through, and no matter what you do, you're both right and wrong. And but no, here's the weird thing, right? I know what you said, Lyle, about how it's miserable either way. But even though I genuinely felt I have picked the correct story, and there's definitely some sadness to it, I didn't sort of go. It wasn't one of those where you put the
one ending is sadder than the other. One ending is sad.
I don't know that it is. I think it is but it's also that's the one I think feels the correct one.
Because I picked Mael's ending, and I think that and some of that was quite lovely.
Oh, it's devastating though as well. It's devastating.
Also devastating, yes.
But at least I didn't. So do you remember
it's lovely in a Matrix way.
But do you remember the end of Red Dead Redemption? Do you remember the end of Red Dead Redemption where it's this devastating moment, black screen, Dead Man's Gun plays, and you're just like, it's not that. Oh my god, I feel gutted. It's that I do feel it's a really weird sensation for a video game to give you that feeling of not ambivalence, but like the feeling of two emotions at once, because you feel you've done the right thing, but also sometimes doing the right thing does actually it's not always a happy ending. It can be, some elements of it are happy, but sometimes there's fallout, and it's like I think it does. I can't fall. If someone else can shout why it shouldn't, and even if that's just, well, we haven't played it, like Steve's,
I'd be happy to swap them around just based on what you guys have told.
Yeah, for me, I thought the stories of both these games were amazing, and if I was going to fault Clair Obscur's story at all, it would just be like, it's quite a lot, it's quite a lot to deal with as a story. But if you're talking best story, and not one I would most enjoy after a tough day, then I think Clair Obscur's Expedition 33 has the best story of pretty much the list. So
I also think it's weird because often with Dispatch I will be arguing hard for some of the moments, because I think that game is just many amazing moments. Clair Obscur's got some moments, don't get me fucking wrong, but I just think the overall story as a whole feels
more consistent.
Yes, like there are some amazing jaw on the floor moments in Clair Obscur, but it's greater than the sum of its parts in every. Well, that's my argument. But like, we can vote absolutely, but
I just think you're scared of Discord. I'm just scared of what Discord will do if we don't put it at the top.
Yeah, that's it.
I was going to say that
Adam can handle Discord.
Dispatch's story.
He's the boss. He'll fucking shut you down.
I've never done that. Sorry, Steve. Dispatch's story.
Yeah, I was going to say it is, whilst being excellent, isn't something we haven't seen before in various formats. There was nothing there that blew my mind in terms of, that's totally original.
Yeah.
In what? Sorry.
It's a case of it's
in Dispatch.
Yeah, in Dispatch. Sorry, my bad.
It's a superhero story, isn't it?
A recognised story beats and puts them in a fantastic format that you really get involved with. But there's nothing mind blowing here.
Again, though, it's that game is more that game is more character than story in a way. Like
I genuinely think as well they really did not anticipate quite how popular this would be.
They didn't,
and
because
I think what we're going to get with the next whatever they did,
broke their
part 2.
They broke their 3-year record in 3 months.
That's what I mean. I really genuinely think that we're going to get so much more from this team that
you're also going to get a lot of people trying to do this now, even more so than when Telltale did it, I think.
Are we locking that list?
But if they're all coming out with quality of what we've seen so far, I'm happy with that feature.
Well, they've set a bar now. You got to be on par or above that. Like, that's it. Are we locking this? Shall I read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in 5th place for best story, Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Didn't see that coming. 4th place, The Alters. 3rd place, The 100 Line Last Events Academy. 2nd place, Dispatch, and the winner, best story of 2025, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33.
Well done, Kojima. Good job.
Did he write that?
I kind of feel like we all got. I feel like we all got something on that list.
There's one for everyone there. Yeah.
I do feel like there's one. I mean, maybe not so much Steve because he's not a big story guy, but
he liked Dispatch.
He likes Dispatch,
yeah. That can be yours, Steve.
Even me as a known story hater.
So, best moment then. Top 5. Jesus Christ. 32 to read out. I'm just going to... So, the first... Right, so, karaoke from Dispatch. Cool Dick, Dispatch. Chase, Dispatch. Bar scene, Dispatch. Final battle, Dispatch. Discovering you can use 2 characters in Ball X Pit. The brutal finale, Split. Finishing a run in Hades 2. End of Act 1, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The beach landing in Clair Obscur. The song in The Altars. The good ending in The Altars. Rocking out in Death Stranding 2. Opening walk along the ridge, Death Stranding 2. The first ending and the first death. 2 separate entries there for 100 line Last Defense Academy. Nate and Moose at the campfire in Baby Steps. Getting to the cabin in Baby Steps. The episode opening song to a T. Climbing Benji in South of Midnight, Spuper at the Museum, Pokemon Legends Z to A, Mega Phalanx from Pokemon Legends Z to A, the ending of Time Flies, Hot Dogs in Split Fiction, Worlds Collide in Split Fiction, Pinball in Split Fiction, Return of the King in DK Bonanza, the final boss in Sea of Stars Throes of the Watchmaker, the Spider/Ghost stance in Ghost of Yotai, Snake Eater Song in Metal Gear Solid Delta, Bottom of the Hole, a game about digging a hole, and Navigating the Ice Belt in Metroid Prime 4. We have to be rather brutal here, don't we?
That's quite a lot, isn't it?
We kind of have to.
Oh, yes.
We're going to be here for forever.
I've got one.
Okay.
I'll give you a cut straight away.
Hang on. Kieran was in first. Go on, Kieran.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I was going to go straight in with a Dispatch one.
Go on.
Cool Dick. Like
the one I liked.
There's lots of good moments in that game.
Yeah.
Cool Dick is one of them, but there's at least 2 there that I prefer.
I'll give it
it's a good moment, but it relies on a later moment for it to truly pay off.
I disagree. So here's the thing, right? For me, would not have played this game if it weren't for Kieran's recommendation, talking to me about it and how impressed he was with it. And I was enjoying it. I was like, this is cool. But it's that moment, and that's a really early moment in episode 1, where the humour is set. Like, this is the bar. This is what we're going for with the humour. That I was like, okay, I can absolutely get into this. That's fucking funny. And then the payoff. It's kind of it's a weird subtextual through line for the whole game. In the first episode, he reacts to the green guy's dick, Cool Dick. Then you're introduced to one of the superheroes who punches people in the dick all the time in the bar scene. Then you're introduced back to that bad guy who comes back again, and he's like, how are you going to beat me? And then here's the guy who's been punching dicks. So it's kind of like a weird through line, and I just felt like that Cool Dick moment is like a scene setter of the humour. Like, this is our marker in the sand, or, tempo, and this is what we're going to be doing. I get it if no one else is going to back it, but I think it's a really fucking clever bit of writing to introduce a throwaway line of just Aaron Paul going, Cool Dick, and that to pop up again, and then again in various phases. I think it's really clever, and it kind of sums up how clever that game is for me with its writing. But I do appreciate there are 5 moments from Dispatch, and if it's just me,
there's better moments from Dispatch.
I don't think that's the best moment from Dispatch. I do get what you're saying, but it made me chuckle.
Yeah, and I do think it's very much the scene setting moment of Dispatch.
That's what I mean.
It made me realise, that's what we're going for.
Exactly that.
For sure.
Exactly that, and I just fucking love how it all pays off.
Jokes.
Yeah, but it's not. It is that, but it is smarter than that, because it comes back in the final moment where he's like, "I've got a guy," and here he comes, and you're like, "He's gonna punch him in the dick." And I know that's like, but it's like
it's the gang. It reminded me of the gang signs bit in the first Iron Man.
I don't remember
which you
that.
probably won't remember,
No.
but it's like it was before Marvel had established Marvel, what it was going to be, the MCU, and it's that the character of Tony Stark, where that he's taking pictures with the troops, and one of them it's like, no gang signs, I'll throw them, and it's like, it's that kind of like,
just gives you
this is how we set the tone of this film. So everything that comes after, we know there's a comedy undertone, and it kind of that sort of established what the MCU would be.
It puts you in the right brain space.
But I'll cut it here because otherwise we're never going to get anything cut. So that's fine. It's just one I really liked it. So yeah, cool. Gone. Bye bye.
I wanted to just cut the good ending from the altars because now Kieran has installed it. I don't want to spoil it when I don't need to. It's had its moment and it's
okay.
That's very kind. Thank you.
I think the same for the song.
And the song too, because that's a cool moment. I really like.
It's fucking cool, but
I listened to that song a lot afterwards, and again. Okay, so there's we might as well. So there's a little bit. I'm not going to spoil it. There's a little bit in it where the altars sing a song, and it's about raising spirits. The cool thing about it is that by then I think you've got 5, and 2 of them could be anybody.
Yeah,
and you pick the lyrics, and obviously this guy has sung this song in multiple voices in multiple ways, and also. It's not a bad ditty. Like it's quite.
You didn't say you get to pick the lyrics as well.
They talk about it, and you have to pick the lyrics.
They discuss it together, and they pick the lyrics, and then and it happens at a point in the story where you need a high point.
Yeah, you're trying. I think it is a morale building thing, isn't it? They're trying to cheer each other up. So let's do it. We always like that band thing. Let's do a band thing.
Yeah, because all of them had a thing in their past where they were nearly in a band. And it's like it's one thing that they kind of share, and then they dropped it for different reasons, but it's what they all shared when they're. But yeah, it's a really good moment. It doesn't really spoil anything to know it exists because when you,
I think they put it out as a video, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah,
they used it in the marketing.
But it was certainly one of my high points of the game. I really liked it.
But it can go, can't it?
Yes.
I've got a lot on this list.
Yeah, go
Do you
for
want
it.
me to cut
maybe
5?
Yeah, go for it, mate. You go for it.
Okay. The brutal finale of the game Split is very, very impactful. And if I had more people who had played it, I think I would be maybe fighting more for it. But as it's just me, I'll just tell you about it now, and you can be taken a bit aback. But very much trigger warnings for suicide on this one, folks. So Split it's from the creator of Buckshot Roulette. So it's like a sort of like it's a weird, like it's like a horror hacking game where the whole premise of it is that you're trying to essentially you're trying to overthrow this make an attack on this evil government agency or evil big agency of some sort. So you're doing this really in-depth hacking that was way too difficult for me, and I thought I was going to be completely fucked doing, but I managed it in the end. But the whole throughout the whole game, you have the other people that you're doing this hacking with. You're in a chat room with them, and the entire time they're but you have to make sure you have your contingency just in case. And your character, without saying anything, you'll just look to the side and there's a noose, and you'll say oh well, no, don't worry, I've got it all sorted. And you get to the point where you need to use your contingency. So you tell your people about your contingency because they've got mind reading things that will basically, if you're alive, that you'll fuck over this entire cause. So they're saying that you need to end your own life. So you tell them about the noose, and they immediately say to you, oh no, they can still extract things from your brain if you kill yourself this way. You have to destroy the brain, and then you have to wander around the room and pick up things so that you can destroy your own brain in first person, and it's fucking horrible.
I've just wishlisted that. Sounds great.
Yeah, it's it actually goes on from there as well, where the people who find you, you sort of weirdly follow them after the end of the game. And the 2 people who find you realize that they will also be punished for this situation, for that they didn't find you fast enough. So they also just use a jack to lift up the truck they're driving and destroy their own brains to make sure that they don't get punished too. And it's a proper it's as grim as a game I maybe ever has been that I have played. And it's incredibly impactful, and it certainly is a moment in a game that I won't forget ever. So it belongs on a talk about it for a moment. Now. Best might not be the term I'd use for it, maybe, but
fair enough.
It depends on how you quantify that.
Yeah.
I'll do something a bit nicer next, shall I? The episode opening song from To a T. So To a T is a game where you play as a child who is stuck in a T pose for, I guess, medical reasons. That's just how they live their life. And when you're playing this game, like, you have to do things like rotate your upper body to get through doors, and because you're stuck in a T-pose, so you can't fit through things. And it's like, it's overcoming adversity as this child who is in a T shape, and it's split into episodes, and every time the opening song is just singing about how he is the perfect shape and that he is live his life and have a great time. And it's catchy and it's beautiful and it is just joyful to the extreme, as well as being very silly. But again, it's not making best moment from just me, and yeah, we'll cut that one for now.
All right.
Very good moment there. We can get rid of at least a Pokemon one, and I think the fact that Phalanx, one of my favorite Pokemon, got a Mega Evolution probably is maybe a little bit lacking to make it as the best moment of 2025, but it's really cool.
It's got my vote.
Why?
Oh, well, okay, keep that for now.
I kind of want to cut. I wanted to cut the other one because unless I missed something, the Spuper at the museum was just a little fetch questy mini game thing, and it kind of went on for too long for me.
See, for me, it was. I mean, we can cut both, and that's fine. But for me, it was one of the ways. Something I really liked about Pokemon Legends Z2A is that I think more than almost any other Pokemon game, it did a really good job of showing how the Pokemon are in the world. It's not just that there's little sprites sort of dotted about that you capture. It's like there's this couple in this museum who have their favorite shitty little bug Pokemon that they have 8 of, and you're given the task to find them all, and they're all just doing stupid things in the museum that also has connections to all these other Pokemon games because it's a museum. So one of them's pretending to be an ancient Pokeball in the ancient Pokeball section, and one of them's stomping around the model of the city from how it looks 20 years ago. And it's just this adorable little moment where I was just this is what I want from Pokemon. I want there to be a level of what would the joy of Pokemon for me as a child was oh, what if I had a Pokemon? Every child who's ever liked Pokemon. And I think that because of in Legends Z2A, I mean, a lot of the side quests are kind of very nothing.
Yes,
but there are quite a few where it's it's just adorable things. Where especially if I'd played this as a 10-year-old when I was first playing Pokemon, I'd have been overjoyed by getting to see how this other world really is, because it was all sort of making it up in your head at the time,
I do get you.
Both.
Can I cut one of mine then, just as a balance thing?
Go for it.
I think probably finishing a run in Hades 2 probably goes. It's really cool, and obviously it's exciting. I did it, but it's also it's Hades.
It's just a sense of accomplishment thing, isn't it? More than anything else.
It's not actually.
God knows how many runs trying it. That first time you're
no, and the thing is as well, is if you're talking story wise for best moment or something, you don't actually get a huge payoff the first time you finish, because you do have you have to the whole point is to roguelike is you finish it once. Oh well, that's that game completed then. That's not what they are. So while it felt awesome to finish it, I'm gonna cut that because of that. Should we try and cut another moment from Dispatch, or are we happy those 4?
It's tougher this time, I reckon.
I have a question, actually. So, are karaoke and bar scene the same thing?
No.
Or partly the same thing?
No. So you've got the karaoke scene, self-explanatory, bunch of them singing. The bar scene is after it all kicks off later on.
When they're eating the tacos.
And it's doing some really good cuts that
I think the bar scene was one of the best directed.
I think it's stronger than
karaoke. I think it was.
Karaoke's funny, like the Cool Dick was, but it's not actually a.
That bar scene though, because the way it cuts. Are we talking about it now? We're discussing the bar scene.
I don't think bar scene's going anywhere at the moment. I think.
No.
I think. Are we going to cut karaoke?
Because I thought that it's the way it frames it. Because it's I thought, it skipped it. I wanted to see that.
Yeah,
and then
that's very clever.
Keeps
going back to it.
Fucking so good.
Yeah. But karaoke, I think, is probably.
I would say karaoke.
Very funny.
Other than the bar scene, is probably my favourite moment, just because of how funny it is.
Oh, okay.
And I have been singing it ever since. but I'm not opposed to
I think the
it.
bar scene and I think the other 3 are stronger than the.
So I was going to suggest cutting Final Battle because I know I added that one on, but that is kind of just episode 8. Like that is the majority of episode 8 that isn't you being a dispatch agent. You know, the physical aspect of you dispatching them. Like the Final Battle is kind of just the whole episode 8 that after you, because you start off and you're doing the dispatching, and then it's just that the rest of that episode is that, and I don't feel it quite constitutes a moment because it's like 40 minutes worth of game. Whereas these others are more momenty, and everything else on this list is kind of moments. Whereas
in that final one, it's that whole build up to the final battle where you just feel like everything is running against you constantly. It's like that constant, that threat is just rising moment by moment.
Yeah. It doesn't sort of fit even if you look at if this was just best dispatch moment, it doesn't fit. You know.
Yeah, I can. In terms of the technical category reasons, I think it makes sense as a cut. Yeah,
I mean, look, if everyone else is like, I'm happy to have 4 moments from dispatching best moment, fuck it. Like, but
we could still have 3.
I think 3 is going to be enough to debate over.
Okay, I'll cut my Final Battle because I put that one on as I say, and I do feel that's most of the episode.
I like the way Punch Up just runs around punching people's. In fact, I think that the whole thing where you've always got in a superhero clash, you've always got like that villain is going to face off against that hero at some point, and it's the guy whose dick is out versus the guy who runs around punching dick.
This is my whole cool dick argument.
Absolutely just magic. When Robert Robertson is like, oh, there's somebody I think you should meet. It's fucking Punch Up just smacks.
This is why I think,
and then just carries on punching him in the dick. It's just fucking. I would cut karaoke before I cut the Final Battle but
I'm happy either way to do that.
Well, we have to cut. We don't have to. I can bring it back.
No, it's fine. I mean, we're probably going to cut both eventually because.
So am I cutting Final Battle and karaoke then?
Yeah, I mean karaoke is really funny, isn't it? But if no one else,
I think that
karaoke didn't stand out that much to me.
Didn't.
It was. That's kind of cool for a sec, but it's not one of my moments.
I think it's fucking great. It's the humor of that game, like just the
Robert,
repetition of he's a bitch, he's a bitch, I'm a bitch, he's such a bitch. Like it's just
so good.
It is really good and unexpected, if I'm honest. Quite unexpected a moment.
But also, again, it feeds into the other really good moment, which isn't even on the list, when like you upset Flambe, and then you have the party, and then everybody's feeling really low, and then you open the door and he just fucking floors Robert. Like Flambe as a character should have been on best character list.
Yeah. I feel like we've said that more than any other.
So I'll cut the Final Battle. I'll leave the other 3, and let's come back to dispatch again another point. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Can we cut? I'm not going to get. I'm not going to bother because no one's going to agree with me.
What?
Say it then.
I will.
You won't. I don't like the opening walk along the ridge in Death Stranding 2.
What?
I hated it. Hated
I
it.
love that.
Because can I tell you why? And Steve knows this. I've told him
why.
Did you fall off the edge?
No, I went all the way left, and then I'm like, this isn't right. This is fucking. What's going on here? Nothing's happening. So I walked back to the start, walked all the way right, and then I looked down in front. I'm like, that didn't look like a place I could go. It looked like it was
did the same. I think that's what put me off bothering to go back to the game.
Exactly. I was so pissed off. I was like, so I just had to walk fucking. Why didn't you just make that obvious?
You walk down the mountain basically, rather than.
Yep. So you start off and there's a really slim ridge down in front of you. I walked instantly all the way left, realised it wasn't going anywhere, came back to that start point, walked all the way right, realised it again, came back and was like, oh. So
yeah, because I went a really weird way around. To the point where I think either my son or daughter were watching me play it and were like, what are you even doing in this game?
Yeah, that's how I felt. What am I doing?
And then I fell off and I fell for ages.
Yep.
And I remember. And I remember thinking at that moment, I forgot what this fucking games were like.
Well, I was just like, am I genuinely simple? Because like, why the fucking hell in a game where you can map everything out, put objective markers everywhere, why doesn't it just tell me to go that way? Because it does the rest of the game. The rest of the game.
It's weird that we did exactly the same thing.
But I carried on playing it, and I loved the game to bits. But like as the best moment, like that moment, Activity was like, "Fuck you, game."
What I love about it.
That's his
Kojima.
Breath of the Wild moment. It's that
Yeah.
open up, is the huge vista in front of you, and it just encourages you to get
And
out
it's
there.
so different to the first game. If you think what the landscapes were like,
Yeah, but
they do landscapes
that's
so
also
well.
my issue with it. Like this, so this is a sequel. I want to fucking get into the story like now. I don't want to have to start your game doing a long walk when I know you're going to make me walk shitloads. Get me going in the story. You're not playing this game for the walking. You're playing this game for the next cutscene.
I don't think it belongs on a best moment list.
Yeah, I'm fine cutting it, to be fair.
I don't think it can if two people actively found it infuriating because they didn't do it.
We know
for one of my other games later.
I just don't get Kojima apparently because I went left then right and I got both of them wrong when it was just go straight. And there are probably people going, "You're an actual idiot." Yeah, I am.
I didn't go left first, but I did go all the way right along a ridge for ages. Even though I could see where I was supposed to be going, I was like, "Am I meant to be going this?" And then I fell off the other side of what I was doing.
I didn't fall off, to be fair. I just got it completely wrong.
What happens when you fall? Because you've got the baby strapped to you.
But that's kind of what I was wondering.
Well,
that's why I didn't go straight, because it's like, I'm not taking a baby down there. I'm going to kill this baby. Like, if I
It'd
fall...
been great if that had been like a hidden Far Cry moment.
Yeah, that would have been great.
There and then.
Steve, I'm here to tell you, it's not. It's not. You just walk back the other way, and then you work out what he wants you to do, and you just walk. And yeah.
But I also felt a bit like you, where I thought, I don't need to do this.
Not that early on, because
now.
you're going to do plenty of walking at the game. Please, just give me some of the cutscenes you've spent years marketing to my face. I don't know. Well, look, if you and Steve love it, though, Kieran, I mean,
I've got another cut if you want. I'm happy to get rid of that one, to be honest.
Yeah,
if you don't like it, then
is it going to make a top 5?
It's not going to make top 5 for me.
Okay, fair enough. Go on then.
The Snake Eater song.
Because
it's not a new it's not a new moment.
Though, man.
It's a
not best
really
nostalgia.
strong hit of nostalgia. Hearing that song again, but with like new visuals, it's just. I mean, that's the whole game. Basically, the whole game is just a really nice nostalgia hit.
Oh right, I thought you meant the whole game's the cutscene at the start.
No, it's just all that classic. Some of the classic stuff in that game, but just seeing it again,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
but that Snake Eater song is, it is iconic, isn't it?
I actually would know because I actually don't remember it from the first game.
Do you not remember the Snake Eater song?
I did not like Snake Eater.
It's the one that's like full on Bond moment.
It's like a Bond song, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know it now, but I don't remember it at the time.
Yeah, that can go.
Okay.
It's not Kojima's night right now.
He had his moment.
That's true. Okay.
Well, no, this is best moment. He hasn't. That's gone. Look, while we're doing it, I did. Shit, did I cut something instead of opening along the ridge? Because I've not deleted opening along the ridge. And
yeah, it was one of the 100-line ones.
100 lines gone.
Oh yeah.
That could have got away with that.
I didn't mean to. Trust me. What's going on? What's going on this Google Doc? Why is
Document's really upset with this?
Right. While we're talking about Kojima, can we cut the other one as well? Rocking Out.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
I'm not that keen on those kind of things, to be honest.
I like him a lot, but I feel like he has done it before. I mean, if we're talking specifically about the moment of the guitar battle.
Oh, I was thinking of something else.
What were you thinking about?
I was thinking of the dance number at the end.
I can't even remember the dance
where
number.
Where what's his face? Is it Die Hardman? Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, Rocking Out. Actually, no. That if it's the guitar battle.
I'm talking about the guitar battle between. I think I put this on the list. If I'm honest with you, where Higgs and Sam are fighting with guitars. But
I do really like that.
But do you know what ruined it for me? It's really slow, and this game does actually control really well. Like, I know people make fun of it, like, oh, it's a walking simulator and it's all mechanical, but it does actually feel good. That's what I think makes Death Stranding as a series quite good. Is it actually feels really good when you play it. It's a good game feel. In that moment, everything's slowed down because you're both exhausted, and I get that thematically. But from a perspective of actually playing it as a human being with a controller in your hand, it's kind of annoying, and it goes on too long, and they kind of are just shouting the same shit at each other over and over again, and it's like a weird moment of this crazy batshitness. But in terms of the actual what's going on, it's kind of weirdly a bit of lack of inventiveness, which is really odd for what's happening because it's so mad. But like they're just sort of shouting like "fuck you" and hitting him with the guitar and over and over again, and it's kind of like, okay, that's quite good. oh, we're doing that again. Oh, we're going to do it for about 5 minutes now. Okay, it sort of starts off like as a really cool moment, and it sort of eats its own tail a bit for me. But I do like it. Like that whole from when you go to that section of the game right to the end is like just great. But that is not. I would even say I prefer some of the. Just when you're going along the beach on the beach in this game called On the Beach, and the big things in the. I'm trying not to spoil because it doesn't need to, but the big things are fighting and like so they showed it in the cutscene when the hat.
Oh yeah,
like that stuff. I would say even that stuff's better.
Oh, that's a really good moment actually. Let's stick that on instead.
But yeah, like in the top 5.
Moment.
No, take rocking out. I think.
I mean, like I said, I think that's what it is because I'm pretty sure I put it on here. Okay, right. Someone else now because I've cut a few.
How many of the 3 split fiction moments are in the top 5 of the best this year?
I can only remember one of them.
Can someone explain what they are?
Hot dogs.
Yeah, because as much as I like split fiction, as much as I enjoyed the gameplay elements of split fiction, I really didn't like the game very much. But like, what have we got?
Hot dogs I remember, but Lyle, unless you could, Worlds Collide and Pinball.
Hot dogs I remember.
Okay.
The other
Hot
2 I didn't get that far.
So hot dogs, that's the early one that all of you slackers who stopped playing got to see. Yeah. The other 2. So in the sort of similar way that It Takes Two had lots of weird and like exciting ways you played it, so does Split Fiction. And one section of the game I really enjoyed is like it's basically pinball where one of you is controlling the flippers and one of you is controlling the way that the ball behaves, and it works really well and it's really cool, and it kind of reminded me of the other It Takes Two type moments of like suddenly it's Street Fighter or suddenly it's Diablo. It's that sort of thing. It's one of those moments that Split Fiction did, and it was one because I fucking love pinball basically. But it's not going to make best moment from just me pushing it, because there is a better Split Fiction moment that I would. Worlds Collide is like the proper end of Split Fiction, where the game becomes like. I was sort of in the same camp as most of you regarding Split Fiction. Oh, you can cut pinball, by the way.
Okay.
Just get rid of that. That one's fine. But I was kind of in a similar camp to you all with Split Fiction, in that I was like, this is a fun game to play. I don't necessarily love some of the story elements, etc. And like, it's maybe not quite on the ridiculously high pedestal that I know as a collective at the time anyway, we had it as a Game of the Year that year. It literally like won our award back then. But like Worlds Collide is where this game is like gets that level of special, where basically the game you're playing through the game together as the 2 characters whose names I can't necessarily remember, but City Mouse and Country Mouse. That's them. That's the 2 of them. And you're playing through in this same world, but on your side of the screen, one of you is seeing it as a fantasy world, and one of you is seeing it as a sci-fi world.
Oh, okay, that is very cool.
It's so visually stunning and like so just like mind-boggling how impressively this works. Cool. So like you'll be watching, because I was playing as sci-fi City Mouse, and I'd be looking on my side of the screen, and I would see Country Mouse. This is so stupid.
I'm going to look them up because I cannot remember a single character's name.
No.
Go on.
So yeah, you're seeing and I was in this sci-fi world full of like robots and lasers and all that standard madness, and I see the other character in front of me just swimming through the air, because in their world there's a like lake there and they're just swimming to get to their bit, but like like to me they're swimming through like a battlefield of lasers, and like the way that it visually plays on how you perceive it on your sort of from your side is so clever, and then the ways that they weave that into the gameplay is amazing. And like for me, it would be top 3 moments of the year on a personal list. I don't know how it could be top moment of the year, because that's what made that game stand out as just being fucking like more special than I thought it was.
Mio and Zoe, by the way.
Mio and Zoe, yeah, there they are.
Well, look, let's cut hot dogs for now because as much as you played Worlds Collide and we haven't seen that, that does sound very fucking cool. And hot dogs is like, it's a bit cool dick, isn't it? In the it's a
bit cool dick.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
And
hot
you
dogs,
know,
there's on
hot dogs.
There's a phrase.
Yeah, it's a bit cool. Right, okay, let's cut that. Right, in the interest of getting this list of 18 down to 5, Kieran, I'm going to ask you the question: do genuinely either of these baby steps actually make a top 5 on this list? I'm not targeting it.
Getting to the cabin would be the one that I would pick. So Nate and Moose at the campfire is just a really sweet moment where he's struggled talking to anyone for the whole game. There's all these donkeys that are, living in the world with the dicks out, and they're all dicks to him. To be honest, they're not very nice to him. All they're trying to use him for is his wish to get cigarettes. Which
I've now seen since the last episode. So now I understand what the donkeys want.
But Moose is calmer, and he's like he talks to Nate like he's an actual person and asks how he is and stuff. And Nate finally gets to the next campfire, and Moose comes along on his way back up to his cabin, stops and has a little chat with him, and it's just a really sweet, gentle moment in what has been, a good few hours of donkeys harassing you and
with their wangs out,
with their dicks out. Yeah, getting to the cabin, on the other hand, that is like the most cathartic moment I've played in a game.
That's fine. All what I'm doing at the moment is I'm going for games that have got multiple things and asking. So we can.
I'll save that one.
Yeah. So Nate and Moose can go. The other one that's got multiple on here is 100 Line. As much as I love that game, I can't remember those 2 moments.
So quite a lot because it is basically really early. It's day 1.
Oh, sorry, I remember first ending. It's first death is what I'm.
Yes. So first death is in day 1 of this game, where you are first encountering this like alien threat, for want of a better term.
Yeah.
And you go out into the battlefield, and basically immediately Darumi dies.
Okay, right. Yeah.
And at this point in time, you think, oh, if someone's dead, like they're dead, and shit, this is like a really impactful.
Yeah,
like,
right away.
Holy shit, this character I liked is gone. And it turns out that there's like a reviving machine.
Yeah.
You can't die. That you live at. And you
You're
can't die. So she basically just gets printed back and comes back and is like, she's the obsessed with death character as well. So she's like pretty like excited about the whole thing. And I think it's a cool moment. I'm not thinking it's necessarily top 5 worthy, but.
So I thought you meant like first player death. I now I get you. Yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah, I mean the first ending.
Yeah.
I mean we kind of. I talked about that at length, like not that long ago, like in terms of what that does.
Yeah. And it's a big moment.
Yeah, I don't think that can go yet. I really don't. I mean the other game that's got multiple moments now is Dispatch and Claire Obscure, and I guess Mick, that's on you and me. Well, no, Lyle plays. I mean, where would?
I think the end of Act 1 as a moment is like.
I think it might be a bigger moment. So the reason I added the beach at London,
that's the one I'm looking
to.
I
bit where the game. So in the same way as like the cool dick scene in like Dispatch, I guess that was the moment. So Claire Obscure up until that bit had been. Like it's all quite melancholy and it's very painterly, and you know that they're going on this exhibition that no one's returned from. You know what's at stake because you know that every year more people are going to die. I mean, Gustav loses Sophie right at the beginning of the game, and it's like fucking game's not messing around. But it's like it's still very like these characters are all like it's an adventure to them. It's like. They're almost excited that they're leaving on this adventure. They're going to be the ones that they're going to be the expedition that succeeds. They're going to be the ones that, and then like Alan is like the brave leader, and everybody looks because Gustav's not even the leader of the expedition. It's Alan is the leader. Yeah. Everybody looks to him, and it's like, and it's like, and I remember thinking to myself like they're going to get separated. Like they're going to land and get separated because there's too many characters, and it's going to be like, and then that moment in the beach scene where. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Andy Serkis' character, sort of walks out onto the beach, and it's like
Renoir.
And I'm thinking to myself like what's going to happen? We're going to have a fight, and then he just fucking murks Alan, and then it just kicks off, and like the bit after that where everybody's basically dead or shell shocked, And Gustav is like genuinely like, we failed. I'm the only one left, and he's like going to pop himself.
That's
before,
right.
Like,
Yeah.
God,
Lune turns up. That moment was like, okay, so it's that sort. So this game is darker than I thought it was going to be. Like, and that
Yeah.
the other moment that's on the list, that was a shock. I didn't see it coming.
I think it's also quite a rare thing in games to switch. Well, again, you've got this far. Spoilers, but to switch your fucking protagonist, is not something I think's happened very often. I mean,
who becomes the protagonist? Out of curiosity, after because I know what happens there, but
you haven't met him. If you
meet him just before, I think, and then
yes, he appears. Oh no, you do.
It's Ben Starr's character as well.
Yeah,
so
you do meet him, don't you, a little bit earlier on, and then he appears at the end of Act 1, and I
mean that moment as well.
It was really weird because do you remember during the review process they were like, you mustn't spoil any of the story in Act 3, I think it was, but they never actually said like you also must not show any gameplay of anything post Act 1. If I was in charge of the PR campaign, I would have said nothing.
No, you
past
weren't allowed
Act
to
1.
show Verso.
You were, but you weren't allowed to say anything about it. So there were video reviews of like just
you couldn't discuss.
Because the thing is, if you remember, you can switch characters.
Yeah.
When you're running around the world, you can just switch characters on the fly to whoever you want to be the map character. So like there was, you could have absolutely put together. Well, how come there's no fucking footage of this dude in this part of the game? But like it's interesting. I would have think if I was in charge of the PR, I probably would have been like nothing from post Act 1. But
I do remember messaging.
I think that moment's incredible.
I do remember messaging you when both those moments happened. But I remember with what happened with Gustav. I remember messaging you like, holy fucking shit, this game
I think that's the bigger moment.
Really off to the left. And like, I think both of them, I think they're very strong, but I think if we have to get rid of one and we're keeping one, then we
don't have to. We don't have to.
But I do genuinely think the beach landing as part of the story of that game was just like I didn't see it coming the way it happened. I just didn't. And I didn't see the Gustav thing either, admittedly.
No,
but
I didn't.
The way the beach thing it just sets the stakes and changes everything straight away was just like, holy shit, these guys are in danger. Like this is not an adventure that we're on. Like everybody's dead, like brutally dead. It's like,
having this been one of the few bits I've actually played, it felt like this is almost game over from the off. It was oh shit.
It was Saving Private Ryan out of nowhere.
Oh god, yeah.
It's difficult because I don't really want to cut either of them, if I'm honest. But...
leave them both in for now and come back.
Well, they're not as easier cuts or things we haven't discussed yet.
I think as a suggestion for a cut, maybe Ball Pit.
Yeah.
Discovering you can use the two characters.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that means.
It's a cool mechanic for sure.
I've got a character that is two characters, but I haven't used.
Yeah, that's not quite what this moment is.
I haven't got
this
there,
moment.
No.
Yeah.
Have you just realised this, Steve? Steve, have you just realised that isn't the moment that when you unlock the character it does two at the same time?
Yeah, it's the one where you choosing two characters.
Okay, you do know.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Mm-hmm. It just it for me it was where that game showed like even more so to me that there was so much to it. It was like this moment where it was like I've never played a sort of, because I'd call this a sort of vaguely a Survivor style game, albeit a very big evolution of that. And I've never played anything in that regard where it's like suddenly you are actively picking two characters who have wildly different mechanics and how that works together. It was more of a mind-blowing moment of like potential as opposed to maybe anything more. And I think it can probably go for that too. But like it was a moment that made me pretty certain that I was going to be giving it a 10, and it turns out I did. So
the funny thing is I finished that level where that blueprint is and unlocked the next level. I haven't got that fucking blueprint.
You haven't
yet.
found it.
No.
Yeah,
so
the blueprints can be so weird like that.
I'm just grinding that level just because I want to see. I've been trying like preceding this podcast.
There's lots of different ways to unlock them, though, isn't there? Like you have to do it with certain characters.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. But I've been grinding to try and get this moment seen, and I couldn't do it. Like
the RNG just hates you or something.
Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah.
Cool. I got a question on at least 2 here.
Yep.
And I'm almost certain both of them are Lyle.
Yeah, it sounds likely, doesn't it?
So the first one is the ending of Time Flies.
Yeah.
So has anyone else experienced this?
I have, yeah.
Right, okay.
Kieran has, yeah.
Let's have a go.
I believe he was saying something in the interim of like, I didn't get what was so special about that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's got much of a chance. It's probably a good one to bring up now. But the ending of Time Flies. This game.
Do you need to spoil it then? If it's going, do you need?
Yeah, maybe
I'm just asking if it's
only because I think it's literally the ending as well. That's what I suppose.
Yeah,
that's the concern.
It is the ending. It's a touching moment that I really liked. And sure, if you've experienced the ending of Time Flies, you know that's you can probably agree that everyone on this call other than me is wrong. So let's all take solace in that.
I want to flip a coin. I've got some time to play one game. Do I play Time Flies or do I play to a T?
Time Flies.
Okay, fair enough.
I'd agree with that.
That doesn't bear anything to the list. That's just for me. That's so,
okay. Just a question.
Just a question.
Just one.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, if we don't have to spoil the ending to a game, I suppose we shouldn't really.
Part of me wants to know about the Ghost of Yotei stance, but part of me really doesn't.
I'm the same. I'm exactly the same, man. I'm like, I sort of want to know what that is, but
we can cut that. If I don't want to spoil it for anyone, it's just a really cool moment where you get close to one of the Yotei 6 and you unlock a new ability, which then allows you to fuck a load of people up.
Sounds cool.
It is very cool. It's just one of those moments.
They hold it back as well. Like it's something that Jin gets quite early in, or a version of it in Tsushima versus.
Guess what other game I didn't finish? Yeah. It's the worlds in these games, man. They're too addictive to just. But you're saying cut it.
Yeah, no point in spoiling it.
Okay, it's not strong. Okay, bottom of the hole.
We're being very kind to each other, aren't we?
Yeah, I was wondering about.
I appreciate it.
Steve, I think the fact that we are 40 minutes into this category and there are still 13 on the list means we are all sort of like
we're steadily chipping away.
I know. I'm not.
I like this list anyway. This list is
a good list.
A celebration,
but it's a fucking long list still.
It's a long list. Yeah, what's bottom of the hole? Because I get
bottom of the hole. Is it golf? Is it a golf game?
No, because it's about digging a hole.
I know.
It's a game about digging a hole.
It's a game about digging a hole.
Yeah.
So I presume this is Lyle, and is this the
no,
end?
This is not Lyle. This is not Lyle. No, this is Kieran.
Oh, wow, okay.
I know of this too.
Yeah, I do too. I want to just be clear. Kieran said it's a game about digging a hole. That is actually what this game is called. The game is called A Game About Digging a Hole. Kieran, over to you.
I mean, it is the end of the game. Do we want to spoil it? It's only a 2-hour game. It's not.
I mean, the title of the thing sort of gives it away, doesn't it? Have we already spoiled it?
Well, presumably there's something at the bottom of the hole.
You get to the bottom. Well,
What I like about it is that it does something very similar to Power Wash Simulator 2. What's Power Wash Simulator does with the story. You know how Power Wash Simulator is quite a mundane game, and it's got, but then it turns out there's quite a batshit crazy story attached to it.
Aliens and shit.
You have to look at the text messages and stuff to actually get it. This does something similarly batshit crazy, but it's
is it Australia? Is it Australia? You dig to the bottom.
Do you want me to go? Do you want me to tell you what it is?
We should.
I'm never going to play it. I can't speak for everyone.
I can't imagine that this is going to destroy anyone's world.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just a fun little ending. So,
is it a loop? You end up back at the top of the. No, okay, and it's not Australia.
No, you
I
buy
mean,
this
Time
house.
Flies sounded like more emotional, so
yeah, Time Flies is more emotional. It's definitely more emotional than this.
Now you got to do it. Now you got to tell us.
Yeah, so you buy this house for 10 grand, and it's really cheap. And the premise is that it's cheap, and there's treasure at the bottom of the garden. So if you get to it, you get to keep the treasure. So you spend 2 hours. It's only about 2 hours, I think. Digging a hole down through the bottom of the garden, upgrading tools, and getting to the bottom. You get to the bottom, and there's essentially a set of caves underneath your garden, which are guarded by giant moles who try and kill you if you go near them. You finally work your way past them. You get to the treasure, and then you get killed by a mole, and then it just cuts, and it goes back to the for sale sign outside of your house being hammered back in,
Right.
And then the person, the van that's done it, drives off, and it pans down, and you see their number plate, and there's a little mole on it, along with a tally. So it's implied that the moles are luring people in,
I know that.
getting them down there and killing them.
That's cool.
It's just.
Yeah,
I was
nice.
not expecting
I
it
like
to be that like that. Yeah. So yeah, cut it. But it is funny.
Right, 7 to go. We can do it, I think, possibly.
What else we got?
We haven't talked about Metroid. We haven't talked about
I still feel like
DK.
this is 50% Lyle, this list.
I don't know where you're getting that from, because there's only 2 on there that I know are Lyle now. Well,
What,
100
Sea of
line.
Stars?
Yeah, that's
Metroid
Lyle.
Prime 4.
That's it.
That's the 2, yeah. Good job.
100 Line is still on there.
I mean, that's me as well.
Worlds
to be
Collide
fair.
was Lyle.
Yeah, but it's
Oh, yeah,
really
that's
good.
true.
What is Return of the King?
Yeah, I'm going to need a reminder of that as well, Steve. Return of the King.
So you've been battling your way through DK Bonanza with your antagonist, whose name I'm never going to remember.
something Kong.
Trying to remember any character's name.
Honky Dong.
Thanks, Mick. Appreciate that. Only for you to face what you think is a final battle, but it bloody ain't, is it? And we get the return of the one and only King K. Rool.
Yes, he is.
It's one of those things that he's been conspicuous
Void
by his
King,
absence.
by the way. Void King.
Huh?
Void King is the...
Oh, Void King, yeah. I never would have got that. Yeah, conspicuous by his absence throughout. It turns out he has been the one riling you throughout, and you have to go and face him in the big climatic battle of the game. And it brings back enemy characters throughout the series, and it's just
really
a lovely
cool.
nod, a nostalgic nod to the series, man. It's a fitting return of him, essentially. Is it going to make it as a best moment? I don't know. It's just nice. It's a nice throwback.
It might be a tough sell on this list, but for me it was like I've loved the Donkey Kong games for ages. So this grand return of so much of this this side of it that's been missing for a while, I just thought was so cool, and yeah, very, very nostalgic.
Yeah, for sure. And the fact he's all glittery and gold is nice, but
yeah.
Well, it's up to you two, really. I mean, I sort of... The trouble is...
There's things I would put above it for sure.
That's
But
the
if
problem.
for me, it would be in probably in a 4th or 5th place on the top 5 list.
Yeah, I'd say it's similar for me. And I think 2 of us and not 3 of us. It's probably not making an overall 5.
I think the trouble is with a lot of things for DK is I love that game. But so much came along after it that ate its lunch, and I was already in love with stuff like Claire Obscure and 100 Line, and then Dispatch came along, and I would just happily have everything from Dispatch in this list. So it's like,
yeah, it's had a tough year for DK as far as it goes for coming out on this one, but
we don't have to cut it. We can hold on.
If I'm making a choice and I'm going to come up against stern opposition, I'm sure I'd be whipping Climbing Benji out of there in a fucking heartbeat.
I would also, yeah.
Oh, not Climbing Benji.
Yeah,
I would too.
As I say, for me, it was a 2 on the nose moment, and I get that's
Steve,
why you said you liked it for that reason, Mick. That's what I don't like
But
it for.
do you know what I wonder? Because I didn't think it actually worked as well as it was intended to, and I wonder because you and I played it pre-release.
Yeah.
And there is part of me that wonders, did they tighten that section a little bit? Because I don't feel it was quite tight enough. Because I really cannot remember the name of the game, but there's a series. There's been 2 of them now, and they're isometric, and you play, and you're in a dream world, and they do the same thing, and they did it where the boss battles are all songs. I cannot. The sequel wasn't that long ago. It was a year or 2 ago.
Right.
I cannot remember the name of the series.
It's not Figment, is it?
Yes, it is Figment, Lyle. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
It is Figment. And they were they nailed that, and this didn't. I think a lot of
is it as good as climbing the tree with the song in Astrobot? Because that's the other one
that of course, yeah. Astrobot's another good shout. I think those do it tighter. I didn't feel that the Benji climb was quite tight enough. I feel you could the others that tree. It felt like you could only do it at the pace it was designed to be done at. Whereas South of Midnight felt like you could be quicker or slower, and so it didn't quite feel.
If you rush through
cool.
it, you lose a little bit of that moment.
And not even rush, just play it whatever pace you were playing at.
But then I know you guys liked that more than I did in the first place. So.
I liked it. It wasn't one of the best moments of the year for me, but I enjoyed it. It was one of the best moments in that game, and that game had a lot of good moments. But if you hadn't added it to the list, I might have forgotten it again. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's not on the game.
I think it needs to go then, doesn't it? I think I'm the only person that would really fight for it, and I've got other things on there that I will fight for instead if I need to.
Yeah, and there's a couple of
if we get Benji out of there and then we get King K. Rool out of there, that certainly helps.
Oh right, okay. I wasn't expecting that.
Just a quick.
At least we've hit 10.
Behind the shed.
I'd ask before you shoot Return of the King in the head, because like you and Lara both mentioned it. Like, we still haven't discussed like the ice belt in Metroid Prime.
I would sooner cut ice belt, and I haven't, unfortunately. I don't. It's just going to seem really shitty. I don't want to hear Lyle talk about the final boss of Throes of the Watchmaker, because I will fucking get to that one day. I will.
Another finale of another game.
Yeah, and I will one day get to that. But
only one person has played. Is that going to make the top 5?
It's not going to. It should.
Okay.
It should. But I've been let down again.
I concede that I have let you down, and but that's part of why I don't want it on this list, because I don't want to hear about it. Because I think
it's the best boss in that whole set of like that game, and then the DLC. Like, it is an amazing boss fight. So fucking cool. When you get to play it, you will think it's awesome, Adam. But I do think that, it's not going to make it based on me alone, I don't think. I think it takes some doing, and to be honest, I'd probably be fighting harder for the Split Fiction one that's just me at the moment. So, like, I can't be getting 2 on the list.
Okay. What about navigating the ice belt? Because I know we had a little pause in the record and we talked about this. I have got close to this. I have been trying. I have been playing Metroid Prime 4, but I haven't seen it. I do want to. I don't know if will Metroid Prime 4 come up again. I don't know, but I do want to.
It's the only one it features in.
Well, there's timing against us there. There's behind the curtain, like there is. It's not worked for us, that game. It's a very late in the year release.
Yes, this was the first day where we had played it before recording.
Yes, basically that. I do think the ice belt. So if you don't know, the ice belt is a level or biome of a region of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and I was a little bit worried about Metroid Prime 4 because like the first section is quite linear and it's quite straightforward, and then you go and get the bike, and that section when you get the bike, the Viola, I didn't really love either, and then it sets you out into this open world which really does feel like Gears 5, sorry, where there's little bits to do on the map, but generally it's just like Nintendo have definitely got a thing at the moment with like partially semi-open world things in their games.
Yeah, they
definitely do. That's their thing at the moment. I'm not sure every game needs it. That's not what we're talking about. You go to a fire world. Well, I don't know if you have to. I did. I went to the next, because it does sort of say to you, basically now you've done the first 2 keys out of whatever many there are. Do whatever you want, and I ended up in the fire world. You find an item, you backtrack. And then you realise, I can't. Something happens you can't go back to the fire world. It's obviously they've let you in, but now they're like, you got to come back later. This isn't an early level. You go off and you get to, again, whether I meant to or not, I did. I ended up going to the ice belt, and there they stop a lot of the combat encounters. It becomes more of that Metroid Prime-y kind of desolation. This is a ruined world, very pretty. Not much combat, and it's all exploration, puzzles, movement, and it's like, and all my worries were like, okay, well they're not gone because I still didn't love the Viola stuff, but this is why I like this series, and it was like a kind of, thank God for that moment. So I think it's worth shouting out the ice belt in general, but I haven't seen yet the bit you're referring to specifically with this list, Lyle.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a lot of this is Metroid Prime 4's cool dick moment, right?
Okay, well, of course. Which is really weird when you say that.
Just, it's so bizarre that cool dick is the new term that we use for all our games now.
I so badly want to say that's because Samus is a man, right? And but it will be taken the wrong way, because that's kind of that's the online meme in it, like that people like, they see a picture of Samus and like, oh, that dude looks good. It's like, but someone will genuinely think I think Samus is. So
they will, and it'll all be upsetting.
Yeah.
But it's the cool dick moment in that I think this is the moment where this game, the ice belt in general, is where this game sort of shows its true colours as like we do still know how to do Metroid
Yes.
Prime. We do
Yes.
still have these worlds that are like desolate and beautiful and just like a joy to explore. And yeah, navigating it, there's some like really epic moments coming up in about 5 minutes in Adam's playthrough that he'll really enjoy, but it's only me that's played it, so we don't need to bother with that. But Metroid Prime 4, you're getting a shout out and you'll be getting a review in a couple of days as of this recording, so you know, good things all around for you.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, fine. Yeah, I love Metroid Prime games. I'm really pleased we got a new one. So I sort of feel weird cutting it from anything. But yeah, okay.
Should we talk about Chase, maybe?
I was wondering about that. Which is that the moment where he goes, or is it the moment where he comes back?
Exactly.
I think if it's the moment where he comes back, it would not be on my list. If it's the moment where he goes, if it's the moment where he goes specifically, because I did say that what they do afterwards diminishes it, but the act of that moment, we're talking about moments, right? Not necessarily what they lead into. That specific moment when Chase sacrifices himself, because I believed at that moment that's what it was, and it was a sacrifice because he didn't know he was going to survive. He knew he was, like he didn't know that Blazer could give him the amulet and he would be alive. He was risking it all to save.
I never even felt like it was I'm definitely going to die. Or no,
I
did. He
does
say, doesn't he?
Did as well. It's
He
one of
does
the
say
few where I sat there and gone,
it was
no
the smile.
way.
It was.
I think he says earlier in the game, doesn't he? I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, he said, because he says, "I'd kill your dad, bring him back to life, and kill him again if I thought I could get." One more time.
That's right.
And like that, so I thought that moment when he ran, and I mean, he was in a coma. Like he didn't know he was going to survive, admittedly, until the moment when he comes back. But I don't know. It depends which.
So is that, just to be clear, that is the moment that is on the list? Is the moment where he sacrifices himself?
That's the one I'd have thought was more.
Well, I'm going to just so that is what we are officially saying. That is
Chase's sacrifice, and personally, that is the moment of Dispatch for me, beyond the other two.
With
the
9
emotional
moments,
weight behind that choice, man, was ridiculous.
With 9 moments on the list, I think what it comes down to is: are we willing at this point to cut any of the Dispatch moments? If not, then we've got to cut loads of these because.
Well, I've got a question about the first ending of the 100 line. Is that is that what happens in the ending, or is it just the fact that it doesn't actually end there? Is it just the fact that it's a near automata moment where?
Yes, that it's
ended,
what it signifies,
but it hasn't. Because is that, I don't know if that counts as a moment.
Well, yeah, because it's genuinely like jaw on the floor, mind blown. Like, what this game's you're doing? What is that? That is all that I described in best story.
I took it as having that whole character conversation the other day, Lyle, where you were talking about how that changed, and I assumed it was that tying into the ending.
See, for me, it's more, there's like a big twist at the end of Act 1 that doesn't necessarily need spoiling about the whole, like, how this whole universe is working. But for me, it's maybe like partially that, but mainly it is how much this is like, how much the game is so much more than that. And it is something that like it's a game where if it ended there, that would have come across as a full great game that I would have scored, you know, ridiculously highly and told people to play. And yeah, it's I don't know, it is one of the most powerful. Like, I was kind of for a moment like thinking about like, oh, maybe it doesn't make it, but like it was one of the moments this year where I was like, how the fuck did this happen? And it really did blow my mind that this was like what was next for me, that I was nowhere near done, and that the game like evolved in a way. It's almost like how like in like something like The Messenger, when it suddenly changes from being one genre of game to another, you know, like it changes to being like a game where it's sort of about like time travel and flowcharts as well as being all the other things about the game. And that's like, it's just kind of like, and again, it shouldn't have happened. I don't know how a game like this it can be allowed to be made.
So what I'm going to ask
for quite hard, but I don't know.
I would.
What I'm going to ask is that so this is a list that is to represent obviously the site and all 5 of us. Yeah. There's still a moment on this list that only one person has seen. There is.
No,
it's a fact.
I think there's 2, 7, and 8.
Yes, okay. So yeah, actually, because I wasn't sure if Kieran had also seen 8. That's what I was.
No. I don't,
so I
mean that together.
I mean, really, as excellent as those moments may have been, I can't see how they can represent the site as a whole when 4 of the 5 haven't seen them. Like, that doesn't...
I mean, it's sound logic. I won't argue with that.
I mean, if we're going to argue over the other 7 to try and get rid of...
I think you could just flip that on its head and say, fine, if they are going to be on there, then we need to hear why right now. And we also, more importantly, need to hear what you're going to countercut, because there can only be 5 and we still have 4 to go. So,
do you want to go first, Lyle?
I mean,
great. Thank you.
I know, but before you do, we did get a big description of Worlds Collide already. We've already heard. Like, I'm not like putting it down.
Yeah, no, I don't know what I'd be saying.
You'd be repeating what you said earlier. We've had it already, and my question is that then I'm not saying they're not great, but what I'm saying is it's very difficult. Like, if it comes to a vote against anything else,
they're getting cut.
How do they? Do you know what I mean? How do we vote? But
they're not representative of us as a group, is what you're saying.
That's my point.
No,
and I'm not.
And I think,
them. And they're both Lyles. No, they're not. One of them.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
You really want to cut Lyle's shit, by the way, don't you?
No,
Like you keep saying they're both Lyles, and they're not.
No, but I generally speaking, me and
wishes
Lyle, our
they were
Venn
both
diagram of games we play overlaps less than the rest of us.
That is fair. Yeah.
Actually, now mine and Kieran's does, to be fair.
Yeah.
Also true. Yeah, I don't know what I could do to convince Worlds Collide from Split Fiction that would make it into a top 5 against
I'd
3
have to
dispatch
play
moments.
more Split Fiction to see it, and I can't.
I mean,
it does sound really cool, though. To be fair,
it does.
It is
very cool.
The amount more impressive it is than the entire rest of the game is quite outstanding. Like, the amount better that game gets in its last fifth of it is sort of mind blowing, and why I thought it would do really, really well in this in this game of the year time.
Over the year of having played it now and heard more about it, do you know, I think I know what it is I don't like about Split Fiction as much. I think it's too long. I think all the levels are significantly longer than all the stuff in It Takes Two.
Actually, you might be right.
And I just couldn't get through it because of that. And do you remember, Kieran, when we were playing it, and I was on, you said we must be quite near now, and I looked it up and I was like, we fucking ain't. We're not even halfway. We're about halfway. But
each full stage was almost like an entire Switch 2's battery life, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. That's right.
The thing, and the entire Switch.
No, that's exactly what it's true. Yeah.
The classic way of measuring things.
No, it's true. We genuinely were both like, battery's nearly gone. So must be coming up to the end soon, and it did. So whether that's just really good, but what are we doing then? What are we?
I mean, let's put. Okay, so so I will.
There is no point putting it to a vote because we know that.
I'm not voting. I'm asking Lyle specifically.
Okay.
The first ending 100-line Last Defense Academy, or Worlds Collide, because you put both of those on the list.
Yeah, but I'm with him on first ending.
Right. So
But I would still say that is higher up for me than Worlds Collide, and I think it would be hard enough to get one of them on a top 5 right now. So let's just get rid of Worlds Collide.
You've got to believe, Lyle. You've got to believe.
Okay, no, let's keep them both. Yeah.
No, I just meant 100-line.
Okay,
yeah, 100-line.
Yeah.
I'm playing the triage now. 100-line seems the most likely to survive in the long run.
It does, and let's lose one of my shields for it for now. And
what
we'll
one of you
line.
say? Oh, I know what the other one is. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, fine. Yeah. I think Baby Steps has to go for the same reason, though. Sorry, Kieran.
Oh, but it's so cathartic. Like that moment, not just from a story payoff, because he finally asked for help. He gets all the way to the top of the mountain. He's not asked anyone for any help the entire time at his own detriment. He knocks on Moose's cabin's door 3 times, having awkward conversations each time before he finally plucks up enough courage to say, "Can I actually just come in?" And the answer's like, "Yeah, sure. You just had to ask." But it's made even more cathartic by the fact that I spent 3 hours over 2 nights on that final section to get to that. That final section is ridiculous. Do you remember the opening of Uncharted 2 where you're climbing up the train?
Yeah.
It's like that, but you've got to do it manually with your feet. And it is so difficult to the point where in the end I physically couldn't do it, and I found another route up, which involved going along a ridge very similar to the opening of Death Stranding 2.
Well, I've heard enough.
And it it's like your body is so tense from playing those moments, and then there's that final little jaunt up the easy part of the mountain, and you go down to the cabin, knock on the door, and it's finished, and it is like your whole body just relaxes because it's done, and it's honestly, it's unlike anything else I've ever played before, that moment. But I appreciate I'm the only one that's played it, and I might be the only person that actually gets to that. Actually, did you finish it, Lyle?
I did not finish it. No, I played enough of the game to know that I very much enjoyed it, and I also watched all the cutscenes.
Your argument the other day was compelling enough that it made me go straight back downstairs and reinstall and play more.
Yeah, well, same, and now I'm fucking. He's doing it again. It's not bad enough. It's bad enough I went and played 2 full bonfire sections of it. Now I'm gonna.
That last there's 2 moments in the game that are ridiculously difficult, and the second one of those comes right before you get to that cabin at the end, and it's like I said, your whole body is tense from having to either go along this ridge. If you make one wrong step, then you fall off and fall down, or you have to climb up 3 train carriages worth vertically, and it's so difficult.
That sounds horrendous.
And like I said, you're all tensed up, you're pissed off because if you fuck it up, then you have lost. You do lose a bit more progress than you do in other parts of the game. And you finally get to the end, and it's like it's just the release of everything. It's the fucking tension from playing it. It's the tension from seeing him in these stupid situations where he's never helped himself once. It's just you just breathe.
I want to keep it.
Amazing.
I want to keep it as well.
Fine, that's fine.
Yeah.
But what are we getting them?
Yeah, but this is
Steve,
the
should we
thing.
get
Right? I
rid
know
of
you want to
DK?
keep it because it's the whole the thing that it's not just because it's baby steps. I do this with the game every year. It's not just because it's baby steps. It's also because 4 of us haven't fucking experienced it versus the other things that are on this list.
I mean, that is a fair.
Like it's great. Kieran tells a lovely story, but it's a personal experience of the game.
And if it was a story about Destiny, you'd be all fucking for it, though, wouldn't you?
No, but
Yeah, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
Hang on a minute. Have I raised Destiny in this?
No, but you've had Destiny on lists before when you've played it.
Not this year.
No, that's fair. No,
not this year. I didn't. But also,
he's right. He's right.
My point is that we have to cut still 3 things from this list,
and there's no way anyone's going to go. Yeah, fine. Cut Dispatch. Cut Claire.
This is my point, and it's not that, but it also is very subjective too. Like Kieran having that exact experience at the time of it being that cathartic. Like you might, and he even said it was like followed on from something very, very hard. You might not even do it. You might be pissed off and not enjoy. I'm just saying, it's a very much a singular experience.
And we literally just cut a game for that same reason, and it's like we can't. Again, it's the representative of the team thing, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're not cutting it, fine. But what are we cutting? I mean, that's the question.
I would cut one of the Dispatch ones, but I know it's the one that probably I'm not going to win, which is Chase the Sacrifice.
Yeah,
and as much as I did like that, that karaoke scene for me is probably my favourite one, to be honest.
Yeah, but they can both be there. All 3 of them can be there. I'm saying I'd have all 3 of them above Baby Steps, and well, probably some of the others actually.
How do we feel about keeping DK, Lyle?
I think DK is probably the next to go. Realistically, it's a nice thing that made me happy about a series that, in general, doesn't necessarily get top tier love from Nintendo and was very nostalgic. But I don't think it does nail best moment of the year. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool more than it's more than that.
Okay, well, there's one of them then. There's
one of them, then, you know.
Keep Baby Steps for now.
We can't keep it for now. We've got to cut 3 of these to get even in a top 5.
Yeah.
We either are or we aren't. I mean, if I'm cutting DK, fine. Yeah. So that's gone.
Oh, we've got it to 7.
I'd be cutting karaoke for Dispatch.
If it's going to get Baby Steps on the list, more likely, then I'll cut it as well.
I would personally cut karaoke and Baby Steps.
I would cut Baby Steps and one of the Claire moments because I think they're sort of, well,
I would cut karaoke and the beach landing just because that's the one that I experienced, and it was cool, but again, it didn't.
Yeah, but you see, what you're describing from Baby Steps does sound like a cool moment and cathartic, but I a world in which that makes it ahead of the beach landing is nuts to me. Like we could be here all night. I like baby steps. Like I will admit that now.
Experience the beach landing as well.
Yeah, true.
Like again, it is
all of us have had that, haven't we? Yeah,
all of us have
yeah,
had that.
Yeah. I can't say it any.
All right.
I don't believe baby steps belongs. That moment, I don't believe it belongs on a.
And it kind of got on a list earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it hasn't made several lists.
Yeah, I really don't think it fits this list myself, and like especially because of what you said. It feels wrong if we leave it on here, fine. But then I think we have to also reinstate the one we just cut of Lyle's for the same exact reason that he was cut. That this one can stay. It doesn't feel right to me. That.
Yeah.
So what else are we cutting?
And it has got recognition.
That is a good question.
I think that's.
I think you got to. I think you got to toss a coin between 1 and 3 here. I think. I don't.
You mean 1 and 3 on the list right now?
Yeah, I think Chase's sacrifice has to stay.
That's a lock, man. Surely.
For the way it affects.
I want to. I think ask a devil's advocate question.
Just funny.
I want to ask a devil's advocate question, right? Every one of us has seen all 3 of the dispatch moments. I'm not wrong there.
Yes.
Every one of us has seen the beach landing.
Yep.
3 of us feel very strongly about the end of Act 1. Lyle, am I right? You're on that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it above my 100 line.
Okay,
thing,
that's what I'm looking
very
at.
Strongly about it
because I'm just looking at it that only you and I have experienced the first landing, first landing.
You made some very good arguments for it, though.
I really think that is just. It's the sheer level of this shouldn't existness.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
The fucking audacity.
Yeah. The audacity after Rain Code.
Yeah.
The audacity to deliver that game and then do this game that requires you to see credits before you see what's truly happening is a level of. It's almost. I don't want to call it arrogance because that's not right, but it almost feels like you.
I know what you mean, yeah.
It's insanity. But then what do we cut?
I really would cut karaoke and then order the other 5.
How do you feel about karaoke, Lyle?
I just think it was very funny.
See, I really like it,
funny.
but again, it would be like if it's in general the crowd are feeling less like it is the dispatch moment to champion. I'd obviously like the 100 line moment for me is a more impactful part of the year. So if we were voting between those 2, it would be the one to go, you know? And
I just think if we imagine if we had him.
I think I'm with
imagine
Lyle
if
on
we
that
only had a
exact
top
argument.
3 here and we were still, you know.
I think it rather than it just being dispatch moment of the year, it does mean that there's like another game on the list as well.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, you know, and I do think of the 5 moments on there. Obviously, I haven't seen the first ending of the 100 Line Academy, and probably never will. But the way Lyle and you have described it, and not just what it is, but what it becomes.
Yeah.
And I just think of there, like, and again, karaoke moment. It made me laugh. It was very funny. I talked about it at work the next day with the other guy that was playing it, and like it was really, really good. I don't think it was anything defining about it. We already knew it was comedy. We already knew that it was what these characters were, and I think the other 2 were better.
Yeah, it didn't get the same visceral reaction that those.
It is really fucking funny though. Like I love it when that sort of humor where they just constantly use the word. He's a bitch. He's just a little bit. It's great. Play that fucking game.
And I don't want to rush anybody, but that's how I'd leave that list exactly that way. You guys can fight if you want, but that's exactly how I would leave.
1 and 2, I would definitely agree on.
2 and 3, but only because I've not experienced 2.
And the reason I say 5 is what it is because again,
we have. Yeah, I know.
You know, and then the beach landing we discussed removing. I'd
swap 4 and 5 and be happy with it. If I'm honest, I don't want to die on a hill or anything, but the 100 line. It truly does stuff like it is. I know people will go, Nier Automata, and but like Nier Automata, you still have to play through some of that stuff over again, like it is for the first time. Like the way, fuck man, like it's making me just want to go and play that game right now. Like, But again, I'm arguing fourth or fifth, so like I don't know. It's up to you guys, really.
I mean, I'd obviously also be happy with that, but I don't really mind either way. Like, I'm not. We got 100 line on the list.
It's the same as I said about the altars in the last category. Like, it's apples and oranges almost at the back end of the top 5. I mean, if you want to swap it, you can swap it. I mean, Claire Obscure is up there in number 2 currently. It's not like I'm gonna, but how it landed looked like that's how
they're
it
both
should
so
land.
fucking good.
Yeah,
I would swap 4 and 5 because the arguments for 5 have been so good, and then like Steve said before, personally for me 2 and 3, just because I haven't seen 2.
Yeah, I don't think that both the scenes from Dispatch are 1 and 2 on that list.
I think that scene was the thing I would have cut instead of karaoke. So I'm not strong enough of an argument for me.
But the edits on that scene, man, are so good.
I would be comfortable in swapping 3 and 5 and leaving.
Wait, what? Sorry.
Then I would swap now 3 and 4.
Okay, so you're saying that. The apologies for people just listening. It's not great for you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I would be very happy with that. I think.
I'm fine with that.
Me
To be honest.
too.
And I think, I would be over
I mean,
the
you got
fucking
all those
moon.
moments in the top 5, man. They're all.
Yeah, no,
great
that is also
quality
at some
jumps,
point
so.
you have to step back and go, "What are we arguing over 4th place here?" But like, I think I know this isn't great for people who are just listening and can't. But we all agreeing number 1 is number 1, right?
Yeah.
Just before we go any further, and
I think
does anyone
feels like where we've landed. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone have any strong feelings for did any of those really sit wrongly with anyone else, sort of thing?
No, I'm pretty happy with that.
I'm fine with it. I feel like Bar Scene's getting a bit of a disservice for how good it is. Because it also does the little callback thing with the cool dick moment with the guy with the tiny arms and mech arms.
Oh, yeah.
And I did genuinely had a belly laugh at that for later on when he came back.
I don't think it can go higher, though. I really don't feel like...
I don't mind that either, to be
honest
with you.
Before?
Say again.
I've lost track. Was that what it was before? I've lost track.
That was the last
those 2 were around the other way. Yeah. So
I'm fine with that as well.
Yeah, I'm fine
good with that.
Also. I'm just.
I'd push for it to be the way it was before, but I'm not gonna like ruin another few hours of our lives to do it. You know? Like,
yeah, I think that...
Not that I think that this is ruining my life or anything.
Well,
from a year of what we've had
between 4th and 3rd.
From where that list started, was it 30 odd in the beginning?
Yeah,
30. I think we shake around.
I mean, what a year of
4
moments.
hours.
And they're
There's
all
no point,
pretty down good.
I think we could be here all night just swapping 3, 4, and 5. I personally think 5 should be higher than it is, but then I also don't necessarily think the others should be lower. So,
yeah,
I'm locking it.
Can't.
I think that's a fair representation.
I can't fight it. Claire Obscure's in there twice.
Great.
You know, it is what it is.
It's a reflection of the games we've loved. Like, yes, that's the important thing. I'm locking it unless I hear otherwise.
No.
Best moment, top 5. In the 5th place is the beach landing from Claire Obscure. 4th place is the first ending of the 100 line, the last Events Academy. In 3rd place is the bar scene from Dispatch. In 2nd place is the end of Act 1 for Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And the best moment in games of 2025 is Chase's Sacrifice in Dispatch, which leaves us with day 5 still to come, where we will talk about the top 5 most wanted games. My God, that list's long. Holy shit.
To add as well.
Didn't notice it
I've
that
got
long.
some more to add in there as well.
And then, of course, we would do the top 10 game of the year countdown. Somehow we will do it. Thank you very much for listening to day 4. No, you said 3. Day 4. Thank you to Steve, Kieran, Mick, and Lyle. And we will see you day 5, the finale. It's here. It's what we've all been waiting for. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.